Oh, we've got a really good triple header for you today on ACC Network. And number 21 Pittsburgh at home for their first 4 games of this 2020 campaign welcomes number 24 Louisville to town. Cardinals off a tough loss to Miami. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh picked up an ACC victory here last Saturday against Syracuse. Great to be with Roddy Jones, Wes Durham. Kelsey Riggs will join us here in just a moment. Well, this one has got some substance to it, doesn't it? Because we're talking about a great defense and an explosive offense.
It certainly does. It's the epitome of a strength-on-strength matchup, Wes. The city of Pittsburgh is synonymous with defense. You see it with the Steelers on Sundays, and you see it with this Pitt defense on Saturdays as well. Only averaging giving up 154 yards per game. This is going to be by far their biggest test, going up against an explosive Louisville offense that's put up over 500 on average in their first 2 appearances.
And they're playmakers all over the field for both schools in both units. But that's only part of the story. For Louisville, it's also about the news of the week. The grand jury investigation, the Attorney General announcing that there would be no formal charges filed against the officers in the death of Breonna Taylor. Kelsey Riggs is with us. And Kelsey, it's a story that has not only captured Louisville, the state of Kentucky, and this country, but has been impacted to this football team as well.
Yeah, Wes, it's been 122 straight days of protests in Louisville, Kentucky, surrounding the Breonna Taylor case. And it's clear from talking with these players and coaches that it impacts them differently than maybe some other college football teams across the country, because this is playing out right in their backyard, just miles from where they live, where they train, and where they play football every day. Now, I had the opportunity to speak with star wide receiver Tutu Atwell this week, and he told me it is hard. I spoke to him Thursday after that decision came down, and he said, we'd love to be protesting. We'd love to be part of these marches, but right now, just days before game, that's not in their best interest. So these players are doing what they can from where they are. And we will continue throughout this broadcast to highlight some of those things that they're doing throughout the Louisville program and Pittsburgh as well to fight against social injustices. Now, as you're watching this game today, you may not hear players talking about this. You may not see things on their jersey, but know that this is a weight that they are carrying underneath those helmets and those shoulder pads as this scene plays out in Louisville. I spoke to coaches before the game, and they told me, what can the players do right now to lift this city up when players know that they have voice that matters there? And they said they can go out and win this football game.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. And also of note, Chris Mack and that Louisville basketball team. Roddy was downtown last night, also in a protest.
Yeah, these guys operate in a football bubble, but they're not insulated from what's going on in the city around them. They are the only athletes, the highest level athletes in Louisville with no professional teams. So the city of Louisville is looking to them.
Brock Travelstead will kick it away. Jordan Addison, who's had an early impact on this Pittsburgh team, a freshman from Frederick, Maryland. Deep to take the kick. To the far side, Addison will signal for the fair catch. And the Panthers will start 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. And here is, by many, Roddy's description, one of the more underrated quarterbacks in not just the ACC, but potentially in the country.
Yeah, you don't have to get Pat Narduzzi going very far for him to tell you that himself. He says Kenny Pickett's one of the best quarterbacks he's ever been around. And that includes guys like Kirk Cousins. It includes guys like Connor Cook and Nathan Peterman. But Kenny Pickett has a lot of talent. Just the consistency hasn't been there over the course of his career, really putting the ball in the end zone. That's the only thing that's holding him back, but he's a great leader for this football team.
Vincent Davis starts as the running back. He's a sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, who is their leading rusher. And he'll get the call here, cutting back to the left side. Davis bouncing away and has 10, 15, and nearly 20 yards on 1st down. Russ Yeast shoves him out of bounds into the Pittsburgh bench as the Panthers are wearing their alternate jerseys, if you will, today that celebrate the history of the steel worker in this city. And of course, what a nice nod to the United States Steel, and of course the ironworks around the Cathedral of Learning on the Pittsburgh campus. Here's a throw, and this is Shockey Jacques-Louis for no gain on the play. Louisville got there quickly.
You know, Wes, after that first big run, it almost seems like Louisville picked up right where they left off a week ago, giving up those big plays. That's something that they're really going to have to prevent here today.
After the run of 20 by Davis, here's Pickett fighting upfield out of the pocket, and he'll pick up 3 And Pittsburgh's headed to its first third down. Etheridge and Avery, the two linebackers, make a lot of plays for Brian Brown's Cardinal defense.
They certainly do. Very active in the middle, playing a lot more like Scott Satterfield's linebackers played at App State. Downhill attacking.
Little tempo used by the Panthers here on third down, and a quick throw to the near side. And this is the freshman Addison cutting into Louisville territory, and tripped up shy of the 25-yard line is Jordan Addison. Roddy, he's been very impressive. That time Character tried to track him down, and he ran right through that.
Yeah, Pat Narduzzi said that he expected this or more from the freshman early in his career. Came in the spring to get some reps in and has certainly jumped into this with 2 feet. It's been fantastic early in the season.
1st and 10 for the Panthers. Pickett wanted somebody to hit up the field. It looked like it was Shockey Jacques-Louis who he was trying to get to go to the pylon on the far side. Instead opts to throw it away, so second down coming up here.
It's a good decision by Kenny Pickett there, not trying to force it. But you know, this Pitt offense last week against Syracuse got off to a little bit of a rocky start and was just really inconsistent. So far here today, it's looked like they are much more in sync early in this drive.
Second and the full 10 for Pickett. To the far side and offline for Jared Wayne, who had a touchdown catch a week ago against the Orange.
Jared Wayne actually slipped and fell down on the route, was trying to run a wheel route with an option to stop and come back. He slips down. Kenny Pickett and he were on the same page, just couldn't keep his footing. It resulted in an incomplete pass.
So Pickett 2 of his first 4. 3rd and 10. Tried to flip it out in the flat. That was intended for Vincent Davis, and it's incomplete. And on their opening drive, now Pat Narduzzi, with Alex Kessman struggling in the kick game, will bring on the senior from Clarkston, Michigan, to try a field goal. Now Kessman has missed from 42, 37, and 45. Now Coach Narduzzi cited technique and some other things. They felt like they've gotten it cleaned up. And here's a 45-yard try, Roddy.
This is not a chip shot to get your confidence back if you're Alex Kessman.
Christodoulou holds, and the kick is away by Alex Kessman, and it is good. His first conversion of the year in 4 tries, and Pittsburgh's on the board first here at Heinz Field.
That's a testament to Alex Kessman coming back from 2 shaky games to make his first field goal. And it looks like it was a technique thing. I mean, if that's what Pat Narduzzi and special teams coordinator Andre Powell preached to him all week, it's a good sign that he's able to knock that one through to get Pitt on the board first.
Well, and okay, 8 plays, 48 yards in under 2 minutes. Pittsburgh only gets the field goal. Louisville defense holds. Who wins there?
Louisville's defense, absolutely. I mean, this Louisville offense is likely to put up points today. As good as Pitt's defense is, Louisville has to feel comfortable with, especially on the first drive, where you're trying to feel things out, forcing Pitt to kick not only a field goal, but a long field goal after giving up some plays early in the drive.
So Kessman will kick it away. And now all of a sudden, a 3-0 lead. And here comes a powder keg on offense. Kessman will drive it away. It is over the head of Hassan Hall. And Louisville will start from its 25-yard line. So, you know, it's like we just had the undercard, if you will, on the first possession, right? It was a nice bout. It went the limit. Some punches were exchanged and a decision was awarded. Now, here come the heavyweights.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. This Louisville offense led by Malik Cunningham, who Scott Satterfield said played really well in the first game against Western Kentucky, but there was a lot of room for growth after that Miami game. Thought he could have played a lot better.
Here's Cunningham looking to throw. Down the field, far side. Fitzpatrick the catch in stride. Des Fitzpatrick, and a flag is down on the play. And it's pass interference on the 5th-year senior.
Let's take a look at it at the end of this. You see him extend right there at the end. He shoves Pennock down
pass
near
interference.
The hip.
Number 7, offense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Still, first time we've heard from Stuart Mullins, our referee, is assigned by the Atlantic Coast Conference here today in Pittsburgh.
But, Wes, I think that gives you a look into what Louisville is thinking today. Scott Satterfield on the call, when we asked him about the matchups that he liked, he said, well, look, Pittsburgh's going to play a lot of man-to-man coverage, so we like Des Fitzpatrick against whoever they put on him. It just gives you a little bit of insight into how aggressive Louisville is going to be today.
So now first and very long after the penalty. And they fumble of the football, but I think right back on it went Javian Hawkins.
Wes, something really interesting happened on that play. Malik Cunningham checked at the line, and Pitt shifted the front. They put the 3 technique to the opposite side, that wider technique of the 2 defensive tackles. Louisville then shifted back, checked back, and Pitt shifted back. So Pitt looked to have a bead on which way Louisville was trying to go there. They're going to try and make Louisville run that outside zone, it looks like, to the 3 technique, to that defensive tackle that's further out.
All right, keep an eye on that. Second down coming up, and here's Cunningham trying to run away from the pressure being provided by Patrick Jones, and he'll scurry out of bounds. Picked up a couple 3 yards on the play. 91 can really run at the edge. So can his partner on the other side, Rashad Weaver, number 17 for the Panthers.
These are 2 fantastic Pitt defensive ends that are really going to make it tough on Louisville in situations like this, 3rd and long. As explosive as Louisville is, they were 4 of 14 on 3rd downs last week.
Sure were. And we got some early movement. Did Pitt jump early? Looked like Renato Brown was pointing at Rashad Weaver.
Offside. Defense. Number 91. Entering the neutral zone, causing an offensive player to react. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's the aforementioned Patrick Jones. He's lined up typically today against Adonis Boone, a 6'5", 310-pound junior, wearing number 74 for the Cards. You get a look at Chesapeake, Virginia's Patrick Jones. Rashad Weaver gets the redshirt freshman Renato Brown. Here's 3rd and long for Cunningham and the Cardinals, and under duress, Patrick Jones will sack him. So Jones gets in. 8.5 sacks a season ago, and he picks up his first full sack of this year.
Louisville went with man coverage on the back end, but Malik Cunningham didn't have any time. Look at Patrick Jones just shoving Adonis Boone into the backfield, into the lap of Malik Cunningham. That's what makes him so dangerous, that strength. He converted speed to power, deposited the left tackle in the lap of the quarterback, and makes the sack.
Technically, Roddy, it's 3 and out for the Pittsburgh defense. Throw away the 2 penalties. Here's the punt. Travelstead, and this is Addison working back here to the near side and into plus territory, out of bounds near the 25 of the Cardinals. Pittsburgh with an early stand defensively against Louisville. They've already got a field goal, and now plus territory when we come back.
Hey, Jake from State Farm, man. Thanks again for the Rogers rate on my insurance.
Here's the deal. There's no Rogers rate. State Farm just has surprisingly great rates.
Look, I know you don't offer it to just anyone, okay?
We do offer it to anyone. Literally anyone.
Our little secret.
Oh. Yeah. Oops. I can help with that. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Kentucky law enforcement needs strong leaders who have our backs. Amy McGrath fails the test. McGrath's campaign is bankrolled by California and New York liberals who vote for politicians who want to defund the police. And McGrath says the riders who burn American cities were peaceful. I've got news for Amy McGrath. Buildings don't loot and burn themselves. Amy McGrath sold out to the violent mob. She's too liberal for Kentucky.
Keep Kentucky Great is responsible for the content of this advertising. At Tommy John, we believe you deserve the most comfortable underwear. And breathable, supportive, lightweight stretch fabrics for the perfect fit on every guy. We believe in can't believe they never thought of that designs, like our Stay Put waistband and the horizontal quick draw fly. We believe the daily grind should only be in your coffee cup, not in your underwear. Plus, we guarantee no wedgies. No adjustment needed. Feeling is believing. So upgrade now and get 20% off your first order at TommyJohn.com with this code.
Somewhere along the way, Western boots got too expensive. And the styles? Well, Tecovas fixed that. We make handcrafted, high-quality Western boots for a fair price. Find your pair at Tecovas.com.
If you've served in the military, first responder, or law enforcement communities, then join GovX.com. On GovX.com, you'll find all the gear you need for your on- and off-duty life. Become a member and save on hundreds of brands. If you qualify, join for free at GovX.com.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. Got that sunshine on my Sunday bed.
103 today on ACC Network. Pittsburgh an early 3-0 lead on Louisville. Coming up next, Duke and Virginia. Chris Cotter, Mark Herzlich, Eric Wood, Scott Stadium in Charlottesville, and then ACC Network Primetime Football presented by Geico. NC State and number 20 Virginia Tech. With Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, Katie George, who have their own cutouts at Lane Stadium tonight, by the way, Roddy.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. Here's Kenny Pickett, first down. In plus territory, throwing for the end zone, and overshoots Addison, who was covered back there by Marlon Character.
It's interesting that Pitt gets the ball here on this drive. This is about where they stalled out last time. Mark Whipple opting early to go with the shot. That's what they go with here on second down.
Second down.
Here comes the almost like two tight ends, two receivers, and they're going to hand the ball, and this is Davis trying to get going. This is Vincent Davis. He and A.J. Davis, who is the more veteran of the two players, no relation, one from Cardinal Gibbons High School in Fort Lauderdale, that's Vincent, and Lakeland, Florida is the hometown of A.J. Davis, who's seemingly been in Pittsburgh a handful of years. Was their principal guy a season ago. So
this is a big play, West, for Louisville's defense. I mean, think of the boost that they'll get with two stops here.
Here's Pickett trying to find Addison again on the inside, and that got blown up, and that was C.J. Avery. The linebacker makes a tremendous play, staying in the middle of the field for coordinator Brian Brown, and again, the Panthers look at a field goal.
Well, on the first drive, they gave up yardage to get to this area of the field and then came up with the big stop. Here, the Louisville defense once again stands up and forces a field goal from Alex Kessman.
So 41-yard try for Kessman. Kirk Christodoulou, the punter, will hold. The kick by Kessman is good. So we got a couple of field goals on a couple of plus field possessions for Pittsburgh. Panthers 6, Cardinals nothing when we continue. (6-0) Pittsburgh. A couple of real good opportunities, Roddy, and Louisville able to hold the Panthers to just field goals.
Yeah, I would actually say that that's 2 wins for the Louisville defense and this Louisville team. Despite giving up points, especially on that second drive, and they were put in a tough position by the penalty on offense and the special teams return. They stood tall, forcing a 3-and-out field goal.
Yep. So Hassan Hall is deep to receive for the Ville, standing around the goal line. Russ Yeast is kind of the up back. Actually, it's Maurice Berkeley who's a fullback, who's the up back, and it's through the end zone regardless. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cards at the 25, and here they are, all nicely right here on the screen. Roddy, just
about to explode.
Yeah.
Tutu Atwell is one of the most explosive players in the entire country. Javian Hawkins is a guy that's sort of the heartbeat of this Louisville offense with his ability to run the football. And although it's early in the season, those numbers are likely going to be around there when it comes to the end of the year, because this offense is explosive.
Now here's Cunningham to work. This is Hawkins and hit head on, and that was Kalijah Cansey, who they could not quit talking about this week when we visited with the Pittsburgh coaches.
You know, Pat Narduzzi said that Kalijah Cansey has Jalen Twyman-like quickness, defeats a block at the line of scrimmage, is in the backfield, and drops Javian Hawkins. And it looks like early in this game, Pitt's selling out to stop the run. They're saying if you're going to beat us, it's going to be man-to-man in the air.
Yep. Splitting the tight ends of the Cardinals here. And now they're going to flip it. And here's Atwell's first touch, trying to get to the perimeter, and he gets shoved out of bounds. And that was Marquez Williams, redshirt sophomore from Pompano Beach, handling the duties for Pittsburgh.
How about the attitude that this Pittsburgh defense plays with? You get over to the sideline, and not only is one guy there telling you how you just ran for a loss of yards, there's 3 other guys from that Pitt defense over there as well, really rallying to the football.
Yep. So all of a sudden, it is 3rd and a dozen or so for Satterfield's offense in their second possession.
And watch how Louisville deals with these 2 defensive ends on this 3rd and long.
Cunningham on a straight drop. Weaver almost got there. The throw is too high, intended for Justin Marshall. Marshall, the intended receiver, but it was well overthrown, and another 3 and out for the Pittsburgh defense.
And you saw again, Wes, on 3rd and long, these 2 defensive ends gave Malik Cunningham very little time to throw the football. Louisville's not going to have time to go with a multi-route concept, go 1 to 2 to 3, or really go down the field, and Pitt knows that. So they're going to play tight man coverage. Louisville's going to have to figure it out after 2 3 and outs.
Here is Jordan Addison, who has already made some plays to take the punt from Brock Travelstead. Or beg your pardon, that is Logan Lupo. I apologize. And Lupo hangs it high. And a fair catch call for at the 40-yard line. 6-0 Pittsburgh. Panthers will touch it again when we come back. Well, Pittsburgh has got a couple of field goals, and that's a couple more than Louisville. In fact, the Cardinal offense has been stymied as we return to action, and Pittsburgh operating from its 40. That's Addison moving to a slot on the right in the first down give, and this is A.J. Davis stepping through 1 tackle, make it 2, and 17 yards and a first down to the Louisville 43-yard line, Roddy.
Yeah, it's very similar to the first play of the game for Pitt, where they had similar success. It's just going the other way. It's just an outside zone play. And Davis does a great job of keeping his balance and getting upfield.
One more time, A.J. Davis, but runs right into traffic and is brought down for a pickup of 3. Kelsey, the question, I guess, is now the Louisville defense goes back to point, because the offense, at least early on, is struggling for Coach Satterfield.
Well, yeah, sure, Wes. And listen, this defense is pretty fired up every time they come off, and they've gotten that stop just for field goals. They knew that the offense is what shines for Louisville. As we watch Kenny Pickett drop back and see if these defenders can make a play again, or if he's going to be able to wiggle out of it, Wes.
All right, here's Pickett fighting back. Lots of time on his feet, and finally gets tracked down by Dorian Etheridge.
Kenny Pickett did a great job of keeping that play alive, but eventually you got to throw the ball away. There's nothing there. You got to throw the ball away and not take a sack on that play.
Kelsey?
Yeah, Wes, the main focus for these players on the Louisville defense this week, their defensive coach told us, Brian Brown, alignment and assignment. They had some big missed assignments that gave up 21 points last week and accidentally cost them the game. So it's their focus this week. And as you can tell, pretty fired up on the sidelines to be holding them to 6 so far. 3rd
down and 9 here for the Panthers. Pickett zips it down the field. And that is the first catch of the year for Taysir Mack, who returns to the lineup for Pat Narduzzi after missing the first couple of weeks, Roddy.
Well, Brian Brown, the Louisville defensive coordinator, when we asked him who on the Pitt team stands out, he said Taysir Mack. We haven't seen him this year. He thought that they would see him today, and sure enough, he makes his appearance seen early. 6'2", 205-pound receiver who had a fantastic year a year ago.
Led the ACC in yards per catch at better than 22 a season ago. And A.J. Davis bangs away for a couple of yards. And second down coming up. Taysir Mack, 63 catches, just 3 touchdowns for the young man from Brooklyn, New York, who transferred into this program from Indiana.
Certainly a great addition. The question is, from a conditioning standpoint, he hasn't played yet. How much are we going to see him today? It's like he's getting this drive.
Mark Whipple used the term pitch count.
Yeah. You know what happens with those pitchers, though, Wes.
Yeah.
You get to your pitch count, and they're like, I'm still good, coach. Let's keep it rolling.
Yeah. 2nd down, 8. Coming up on 5 minutes to play first period. A.J. Davis again, right side. And he'll get to the 25. And Yaya Diaby was also involved in the tackle. And Marlon Character again around the ball, the senior from Atlanta. So here's 3rd and 6 again, Roddy, for a team that, been fighting it a little bit on 3rd down conversions. Pittsburgh 2 for 4. Louisville's 0 for 2.
Yeah, they converted earlier in this drive, going to Taysir Mack, who's down at the bottom of the screen on the inside in that bunch formation.
Yeah, with Addison on the perimeter, and Pickett looked that way to start. Now dances away again from pressure. Throws back across. The catch is made. A.J. Davis took a big lick, held on for the first down, and Davis is down. That was a big shot on the play by Marlon Character.
Certainly was, and Davis looked like he wanted to get up at the Louisville sideline, telling him, no, stay down. We're going to check you out no matter what.
Yeah.
But a nice job by Kenny Pickett, once again keeping the play alive. And Davis working, the running back out of the backfield, working downfield. Let's hope that he's okay.
Pair of 3rd down conversions for Pittsburgh in this possession.
You see Davis there in the middle of the screen. He's going to roll out with Kenny Pickett, which is exactly what you're supposed to do. Nice catch. And a big hit from Character.
So they tend to A.J. Davis across the way. And both schools have returned to their respective benches.
As A.J. Davis has tended to, Pittsburgh has done a nice job on their past 2 3rd downs. One was an on-schedule play where you throw to Taysir Mack, and then the second one's Kenny Pickett's improvisation ability, getting out of the pocket and finding a receiver. That's something that's a real strength for Kenny Pickett. He's an underrated passer on the run.
Yeah.
So I see A.J. Davis sitting up.
Well, the Pittsburgh run game now, Davis, the most experienced of these backs. Vincent Davis, their leading rusher coming into the ball game. Daniel Carter, a young man they're excited about, who had 6 carries on the first 2 ball games coming in, was injured last week against Syracuse, and you see A.J. Davis getting a chance to trot off here. It looks like Carter and Todd Sibley and Vincent Davis will be the backs here. Israel Abanikanda has come into the game too, wearing jersey number 2. He's a freshman from Abraham Lincoln in Brooklyn, New York.
And a guy that they're really excited about as well.
Goes by Izzy. He and Sibley both in the backfield with Pickett here on 1st and 10. And they hand it on the edge. And that was on the edge. They gave the ball to DJ Turner, the wide receiver. So Turner, who had 9 originally as a number, now wearing 7 today.
Making your life really easy there.
Well, this is, you get the different jerseys, Roddy. Stuff can happen.
Absolutely.
Here's 2nd down. And this is Abanikanda moving in. Close to another 1st down for Pittsburgh on 2nd down.
How about the freshman running hard?
Oh, yeah.
Breaking tackles in the middle. It's a guy that was the Gatorade Player of the Year as a senior in the state of New York. Shows you why the coaches are excited.
Yeah, just his 6th carry of the season, and he's right back at it here on 1st and goal. And maybe a step, maybe not.
West, this Louisville defense has played a ton of plays so far in this game. We're not even out of the first quarter. You still got over 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and they've already played almost 20 plays.
Yep.
Because the offense has been 3 and out, 3 and out. And Pitt's put together 2 long drives. They've come up with stops, but you've got to, you got to think of the fatigue that they're suffering from early in this game.
2-by-2 here for the Panthers. Pickett looking for Mack, and it got batted away, and that was Clark defending for the Cardinals. The transfer from Liberty out of Richmond, Virginia, who had 38 tackles, 3 behind the line a year ago for the Flames.
Watch the technique here. Stays on the close shoulder, knocks the ball down, doesn't get over the top of Taysier Mack so he can make that back shoulder catch. Really nice job of not committing pass interference. There was some contact there, but on both sides.
Jacques Louis and Addison to the top on the right side here, along with the veteran Trey Tipton. Here's Pickett. Pass and catch for the touchdown, and it's Jordan Addison in the end zone again, Roddy. Second touchdown catch of the season for Addison, the freshman from Maryland.
And it was a really nice job of Addison running his route, both the first route and the secondary route. Watch Addison in the middle. He's going to run up and run a little stop right there and then come back to the inside. Nice find by Kenny Pickett. Saw that Louisville defense drop into the end zone. Addison catches it right at the front.
Point after by Kessman good. 12 plays, 60 yards, 4.5 minutes. And Pittsburgh now with a 13-0 lead on Louisville with 2:18 to play in the first quarter.
They've been knocking on the door consistently in this first quarter. Finally able to get over the hump and get the ball into the end zone. Louisville had been so good on third downs. But Pitt converting 3 of them on this drive. Kenny Pickett's got a ton of time. And Addison, that's about as easy as it gets when you have the Louisville team dropping that far into the end zone.
You talked about the variety of things that Louisville does because Kenny Pickett has been so experienced for Pat Narduzzi, right? The last 3 years. You're just spreading the field here and waiting to see who comes open, it looks like. But Mark Whipple's got a little more under the hood than that.
Absolutely. You know, that route combination that they ran had a little bit of everything. If you got man, you was going to go to the inside. You had a double move. If you got zone, you had Addison or on the outside. Or he had the fade on the backside as well. So because you have Kenny Pickett, you are able to go with route concepts that allow you a lot of flexibility.
All right, let's check with Kelsey on the play of freshman Jordan Addison.
Yeah, you know, Coach also told us that it was really good for Jordan Addison last week to get that first touchdown as a freshman. Sometimes that's kind of like the monkey that you want to get off of your back in a game, right? So Addison was able to do that, finds the end zone again. And although he is a freshman, speaking to Kenny Pickett last week, he said it did help them because Addison actually enrolled early. So they did get some reps together and work on that timing before things shut down during the pandemic, guys.
Well, Kenny Pickett is 6 of 11, 56 yards and a touchdown. As you see him visit with his offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple. And here is Javian Hawkins breaking free and trying to win the race to the end zone and will. 75 yards. And Louisville lights the fuse just like that, Roddy.
That's how quickly it can happen, Wes. Pittsburgh has consistently said, hey, on first down, we're committing everybody to the run. And that's great if you can get your guy down, if you can wrap up the running back. But if you can't, there's nobody there, and it's a foot race. The corners are playing man-to-man, so they get a late start. You see him able to avoid Damar Hamlin, and then it's all about speed. And Javian Hawkins has plenty of it.
So Hawkins picks up his 3rd touchdown. And in a snap, Louisville is on the board as Turner kicks the point. Well, we promised moments both ways.
and that's the game, Wes. This is what the game is going to come down to. Pitt's defense has to avoid giving up the big plays like they just did. You see it's an inside zone play. Javian Hawkins cuts it to the backside, and then there's nobody there. I mean, there's absolutely nobody. Again, the corners come late because they're man-to-man on those receivers. And if Pitt is able to avoid things like this and make Louisville have to convert third downs over and over and over, they're going to have a shot. But if you bust, Louisville's going to take it to the house.
Right. Well, Pittsburgh came in Their defense allowing 26 yards a game on the ground. Well, Hawkins doubled down and then some on that run.
No offense to their previous opponents, but this Louisville offense is a little bit different than Austin Peay and Syracuse.
You're saying it's a step up.
I'm saying that it may be one small step for Scott Satterfield. It's one giant leap for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you're right. So Scott Satterfield, his team now with their first piece of momentum offensively. So here is Travelstead to kick it away. And Addison to his right will signal for a fair catch, and Pittsburgh will scrimmage for their 4th possession from its 25-yard line. Well, the Panthers have run 22 plays for 110 yards. Louisville has run 7 plays for 67 yards.
It's a little bit of a discrepancy there, and as good as that touchdown was for Louisville, I think if you get the Louisville coaches in an honest moment, they'd have said we'd like that 75 yards to be spread out over a few more plays to give our defense just some time to regroup on the sideline.
No question. Time of possession's reflecting it. Pittsburgh's already got a 2-1 advantage there, Roddy. And I think procedure going to be the penalty here. So Stuart Mullins, the referee, is assigned by the ACC with just better than 2 to go in the first quarter.
Offense. There was no time when all 11 players were set for 1 second prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Interesting too, Roddy, because remember when we talked about with the Pittsburgh coaches this week the Culpepper to Harris play last week for Syracuse.
Yep.
Pat Narduzzi said specifically, as you look at Mark Whipple, former head coach himself, spent time in this city with the Steelers, and now obviously with Coach Narduzzi. He talked about the technique and the execution of the defense, much like some guys talk about the way their offense does those same type things. And the Panthers run it with Abanikanda.
This is the 3rd drive where they've started with that play, and they ran it on back-to-back, even on the false start.
Yeah.
That's what they were going with. Pitt has certainly seen something that they like on first downs with that stretch play.
Here's 2nd and long for Pickett. Kenny has time, slings it here to the near side. The catch made by Addison. He'll be short of the first down, stepping out near the 32-yard line.
In Mark Whipple's offense, anytime you're going to play off like that and give them that out throw, they are going to take it, especially on 2nd downs, to get you into a 3rd and manageable.
Yep. Pittsburgh 4 of 6 on 3rd down today. Abanikanda again fights back upfield. He'll have the first down, gets toward the Panthers' 40-yard line. As we come up on about a minute to go here in quarter number 1.
Once again, they go to the well. Abanikanda is able to get the first down. After struggling on 3rd downs early, Pitt sort of found a rhythm, both with Kenny Pickett in the air and now on the ground as well.
Jacques Louis and Addison again to the right side. And Pickett to work from the pocket. Flips it on the perimeter. Abanikanda tried to make a man miss and couldn't. Wrapped up by Robert Hicks, the linebacker from Miami who went to Central. Takes Abanikanda down back at the 36-yard line. It's a good play in open space.
Really good play, because although the Louisville defense was rallying to the football, there was a lot of space there had he not made that play. Now he forced Pitt into a 2nd and long.
Yep. Likely the final play of period 1 here at Heinz Field. Pickett shoots it across to Jacques Louis, who gets knocked out of bounds just shy of the first down. And a 3rd and short will be the first play of quarter 2 at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Well, Pittsburgh has had really good field position most of this first quarter. They got a couple of field goals early. Then a Pickett touchdown pass to Addison. And a moment ago, Louisville blasted off with Javian Hawkins. And it's a 6-point game after 15 minutes. Well, we go to quarter number 2 here at Heinz Field with Roddy Jones and Kelsey Riggs. Wes Durham on our ACC Network football coverage. Game 1 of our triple header. They reviewed the spot Roddy. And they have now switched it, and we get a little wildcat formation here, and the snap juggled by Vincent Davis, and it goes backwards a lot. 14 yards, I believe. We'll see how they step it off. They measured at 12, a loss of 12 back to the 38. They made it a first down on that final play of the first period. So Pittsburgh had the ball midfield, 1st and 10, when things went bad for Pat Narduzzi's team.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that snap was that far off. Either way, it goes to the hands of Davis, and Pitt's dug itself a pretty significant hole here on 2nd down.
Yep. We're going to hand it to Davis, and boy, the Cardinals feeling pretty good about themselves. Puryear, Kennard, all in there. Rajay Burns. Another guy's been there a while, 5th-year senior.
This Louisville defense has had its backs sort of against the wall for most of this game so far, and they've performed pretty well, so I would be excited to cover them as well.
3rd and about a river to cross for Pittsburgh. Pickett checks it underneath. And here is Davis across midfield to where the original spot of the ball was to begin the quarter, to the 48. And from here, they're going to punt the ball, I believe, with Kirk Christodoulou.
I think if we would have gotten maybe another yard or two, made it 4th and 6, you go for it. I mean, Louisville just went 75 yards in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
So you either have faith that your defense is going to get a stop, or they're going to score from anywhere.
Javian Hawkins deep to take the punt of the young man from Australia. Christodoulou 9th in the league in net at 36 yards. That is Rajay Burns, rather, not Javian Hawkins, I believe. Yep, that was Burns. Timeout on the field. 6-point lead for Pitt. Louisville from its 12 when we come back. For football today, women's field hockey doubleheader starts at noon Eastern tomorrow. You get Wake at Virginia, Duke at Louisville, and then a great women's soccer rivalry. #1 North Carolina, #7 Duke, all tomorrow right here on ACC Network and on the ESPN app. Cards off their 12. Cunningham trying to run with it for the first time, and he will pick up 4 to the 16. He skated away from trouble early there, Roddy.
Well, I like the play call from Scott Satterfield against this Pitt defense. Pitt's got everybody within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're committing a ton of numbers to the run. So what do? You run your quarterback so that everybody can get out in front and block, and it gets them a nice gain on 1st down.
Hassan Hall's come in. Cunningham to the pistol. That's Atwell in motion, and Cunningham wants to throw and was looking here near side for Fitzpatrick, and now a flag has come in. Is that against Pinnock?
I think it's going to be against Pinnock, and I'm not sure about that, Wes.
Paris Ford will litigate on behalf of the Panthers secondary. It's Stuart Mullins will give us the interpretation.
Pass interference. Number 15, defense. Spot foul and an automatic. 1st down.
Pat Narduzzi not particularly happy with the call either.
Well, it looked like Des Fitzpatrick stopped and Jason Pinnock was right on him, and then the ball was thrown upfield, and so when Fitzpatrick tries to go, he runs into Pinnock. That's a tough call against a cornerback.
1st and 10 at the 27. Hall, no sir. Wow. Deslin Alexandre. And they come from everywhere, Roddy, on this front.
We talked about Patrick Jones. We talked about Rashad Weaver. We haven't even mentioned Keyshawn Camp today. Kalijah Cansey's made plays, but then you have to do with Deslin Alexander and Haba Baldonado as well. They just roll them. You know, early in the season, Pat Narduzzi talked about the depth on this defensive line, even without Jalen Twyman.
Right.
Maybe the deepest defensive line he's had.
Hall stays in the ball game. And Cunningham wants to throw near side and open, and this is Marshawn Ford, the tight end. Fights upfield for the 1st down in front of the Pittsburgh bench, where he got knocked down by Pinnock near the 44-yard line. Nice play by a very underrated player when it comes to effectiveness in the Louisville offense.
He certainly is. He's lined up. You see him coming out of the backfield, and the big thing is he kind of does everything. He's a fantastic blocker, doesn't often get involved in the pass game, but valuable there. The thing with this Louisville offense, they just haven't been on the field very much, so they have not been able to get in that rhythm. Starting to get into it.
That's Smith in motion, straight ahead with Hall, and not much, maybe a yard to the 45. Roddy, when you look at Louisville, you think of Atwell and Fitzpatrick, and then Braden Smith has that unbelievable debut against Western Kentucky. And then you think, okay, well, that's another weapon. Then you think Hawkins and Hall. Now you throw Ford in. Ian Pfeiffer, the other tight end, transfer from Vanderbilt, played well last week, too.
Certainly did. It's a loaded offense.
Cunningham into the flat. The catch is made, and so is the hit from DeMar Hamlin. And that's on Hassan Hall. You know, I said this in our visit with Pat Narduzzi this week. I was told this summer by people that follow the Big Ten that they saw Pittsburgh play at times last year and started to think of his great Michigan State teams. And so I told you I was going to ask him about it. And he specifically then said, well, we might be better in the front. Excuse me?
And he said we didn't have a guy like Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver. We didn't have guys like that. 6'5", 270 pounds. Didn't have that at Michigan State.
Then he rolled off like 4 guys that he had in East Lansing that got drafted.
Yeah.
3rd and long, and Cunningham to throw. Back across the middle, Atwell the catch in traffic and hit by Ford at the Pittsburgh 43-yard line. 2-2 Atwell.
You know, Scott Satterfield kind of told us what Pitt likes to do when they bring pressure. You go 3 deep with 2 under. 2-2 Atwell just finds a little soft spot in the zone.
Wait, the words soft and Paris Ford have never been.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Uh-oh, a little mix up in the backfield. They ran into one another. Now onto the flat on the right side. Here's Braden Smith with outstanding speed down the far side and knocked out of bounds around the 16-yard line. And now all of a sudden Louisville's got big-time momentum.
It's almost unfair to have a guy like Javian Hawkins, 2-2 Atwell, and then you add Braden Smith with his speed. So I'm absolutely demolished the angle of DeMar Hamlin.
There's Hawkins trying to find an alley and can't. No gain on the play. The front goes to work again for Pittsburgh. Rashad Weaver was there when they got a Panther down, and that's Chase Pine who's slow to his feet. There's Rashad Weaver, who was the National Defensive Player of the Week after his season debut against Syracuse last week. A couple of sacks, 3 plays behind the line, and 7 stops. Loss of a half yard. Cunningham to throw here on 2nd down. Back up into the pocket, and the hit made. Servassier Dennis, the sophomore from Christian Brothers Academy in Syracuse, New York. The top.
He makes the all-name team, all-ACC name team, without a doubt. Makes a nice play there. And Louisville's had a couple of opportunities where they've actually gotten some guys open downfield, but Malik Cunningham just hasn't had the time to find them.
Hawkins is the running back with Cunningham. This is 3rd and long. 6-point ball game with 8.5 to go. Got in the first half.
2-2 Atwell in the slot to the top. Braden Smith in the slot to the bottom.
Cunningham tries to escape and cannot. It looked like Keyshawn Camp was the guy wreaking havoc against the right side of Louisville's offensive line here.
It's interesting that you have these 2 great defensive ends who push the pressure, and then you have the guys up the middle that keep the integrity of the pocket, so that if Malik Cunningham does climb, they run right into some of the big guys. You were right, Wes. Keyshawn Camp in the backfield forcing that.
38-yard try for Turner, his longest of the year, 40 last Saturday night against Miami. Trying to cut it to a 3-point game. The kick is good. So we get a break in the action. 7:39 to go. First half at Heinz Field, a 3-point lead for number 21 Pittsburgh. 3-point game with 7.5 to go in the first half here in Pittsburgh. Friday night ACC football presented by Dr. Pepper. Mike Mentors Campbell Camels visit Winston-Salem and Truist Field to meet the Demon Deacons of Dave Clawson. Mike Morgan and Eric McLean. EMAC.
McLean getting in the book.
Getting on the telestrator, big fella, right?
Oh, he's going to be all over the telestrator. 100%.
Lawrence Sisler will be with him.
100% chance. It's good that Wake Forest was able to move that game up, though. Or else they'd have gone like North Carolina back-to-back weeks without playing after their game this weekend against Notre Dame was canceled.
Yep. Looking forward to that show next Friday night from Winston-Salem with Mike, Eric, and Lauren. We got a 3-point game here in Pittsburgh. And here's Addison going to bring it out. And he got to the 20 and got wrapped up pretty promptly by the Cardinal coverage. It looked like K.J. Cloyd, one of the linebackers, down on special teams. So Kenny Pickett going to work here today. 30th career start, Roddy, for the young man from Ocean Township, New Jersey. Of course, came to fame with the win over Coach Rick and the Hurricanes. And then in 18, hey, championship game appearance, right?
Somebody had to win the Coastal.
Come on. And then last year, the comebacks and a 3,000-yard passer. We should have known, right?
We should have known. And look, Kenny Pickett last year had a ton. So you see Pittsburgh taking the timeout.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett had a ton that was added to his plate with Mark Whipple coming in as offensive coordinator. In 18, that year that we talked about, only 310 pass attempts. Last year, in 2019, 469. You're talking about 159 more pass attempts. And by the way, Wes, that came in 2 fewer games. Only played in 12 games last year. So there was a ton added to his plate with this new Mark Whipple system. And honestly, it was a bit of an adjustment, and Kelsey's got more.
Yeah, we talked to Mark Whipple about him as well. He said not just the player he is on the field, also a tremendous leader off the field. Paris Ford says he had one of the best camps of anyone, despite all the circumstances surrounding this pandemic. And also, guys on the other side are talking about him. Louisville's defensive coordinator says he can throw the football. He's as good as any of these other quarterbacks. We know Pat Narduzzi has been high on his quarterback, Kenny Pickett, but he's also being noticed by coaches and players on the other side as well. Recognition well deserved.
I think it's a great statement of the 4-year college player. Yep. Right, Roddy? I mean, it's just the guy who's been there. He continues to develop. And really, it's the long game of the college football player.
It certainly is. He's now played under a couple offensive coordinators in vastly different systems where what he's asked to do is vastly different. And Mark Whipple has done a fantastic job of tutoring Kenny Pickett and using his strengths. I mean, he gets Kenny Pickett on the run. He's an athletic guy. He's got a cannon for an arm. And he asked him to make some of those throws. I've been impressed watching him over the course of his career.
Well, and look at the numbers from 18 to 19 and Mark Whipple's arrival.
You're talking about a team that was a typical Pat Narduzzi team, running the ball 64% of the time, to almost the complete opposite, where they ran it 46% of the time a year ago.
3-point lead for the Panthers. Feels like a big drive for Pittsburgh. Ball deflected in the air and almost intercepted. Jared Goldwire, the big senior, after it looked like Abdullah got a hand on it, Yasir Abdullah. And then
they're going to say Louisville got it, looks like.
And now they're going
on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
Oh, my. So Stuart Mullins, it's been called a fumble. Abdullah got a hand on the ball. Jared Goldwire recovered it. Pickett, as you would suspect, says his arm was going forward. And this play will certainly be under review.
Well, it looked to me like Kenny Pickett was trying to go to Taysier Mack up the seam. Yeah, I think that's going to be overturned and be declared an incomplete pass. His arm clearly going forward. He's trying to go to Taysier Mack right up the middle.
Right.
The question is the ball knocked out before his arm starts coming forward? I'm not sure that we've seen an angle that's going to tell us definitively. Maybe this one will tell us. Man, that's close. I would say that it looks like his arm is going forward, but Wes, I'm not sure there's enough to overturn it.
That's bang bang.
And that's the thing, because it's bang bang, is it clear beyond a reasonable doubt, if you will, that his arm was going forward before that ball was knocked out? If I had to guess, I'm going to say this play stands, although I think his arm was going forward. I just don't know if there's enough on that replay to overturn
the ball
it.
comes out of his hand The elbow, you could say the elbow's posted, but Roddy, the ball never leaves. The ball leaves the hand before the hand goes forward here, doesn't it?
See, I think his elbow starts to come forward before the ball is out. Has the hand started to move? I mean, that's what the referees are going to have to decide. And again, that's why I keep going back to this probably stands. The call on the field becomes so important during this review because you have to be able to overturn it.
Jared Goldwire, who looked like he was getting ready to make a big 300-pound play, big athletic play, ends up going to get credit if this is indeed confirmed on the field. And Yasir Abdullah got his hand to Kenny Pickett. So the ruling on the field is the fumble. And I was getting ready to say this feels like a big drive for Pittsburgh, and Louisville may have just pulled the plug on it in a 3-point game, right?
It would be a huge turnover if we were able to get this. So again,
well, we've seen several reviews of this, and
it is so close, Wes, that I just don't know.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
So Louisville gets the first turnover of the ball game, and it is a huge turnover.
And that's one of those where if on the field it's called an incomplete pass, there's no way they're overturning it because it is bang, bang on the replay. So there's not enough evidence there to overturn it. And it is a huge break for Louisville, who has an opportunity to take the lead in this game despite really having very little possession and Pittsburgh outplaying them for much of the first quarter.
So now set up Louisville at the Pittsburgh 21, trailing 3, and all of a sudden look at the momentum on the Cardinal bench. And here is Cunningham with Hawkins, and this Pittsburgh defense has to make its statement perhaps here, Roddy.
Yeah, I would say this is the biggest drive this Pittsburgh defense has had in this game. Louisville's found a little rhythm on offense. You had the big play with Javian Hawkins. Louisville put together a nice drive for a field goal on the last one. And now that they're put in this position, Pittsburgh's going to have to try to force Louisville to kick another field goal.
Pistol set in the 3 receivers. Cunningham wants to throw, and open in the end zone for the touchdown is Tutu Atwell, and the Cards are in front. What a response by Scott Satterfield's team here with 6:51 to go in the first half.
What a turn of events. You get a fumble on a call that could have gone either way, and you take advantage of it. Clearly a bust on the back end. The question is by who? It looks like they're in man-to-man coverage, and Damar Hamlin just looks in the backfield and lets Tutu Atwell run right by him. Louisville takes advantage of it to take the lead.
And now, because the Cards were late getting a extra guy out there for the extra point, the timeout is burned by the second-year coach of Louisville, native of Hillsborough, North Carolina, who's Louisville's 23rd head coach and coaches in his 91st college game as a head guy today. 60-30 is Scott Satterfield. And looking for his 10th win in 16 games with the Cards.
He's got to be fired up about this scoreline right now. The way his defense played early, forcing 2 field goals from this Pitt offense, kept them in the game and allowed this offense to get under its feet. The defense has really come up big for Louisville in this game, forcing the turnover as well.
It's the 3rd touchdown catch of the year for Atwell, Kelsey.
Who else is fired up about that touchdown, Wes? And that is Tutu Atwell's grandmother. He is very close with her. He actually told me she smoked cigarettes her whole life. He told her last year he wouldn't score any more touchdowns unless she quit. She quit for him. He had 12 touchdowns last year and now 3 so far this season.
Well, more to come. Turner's point is good, and the Cards have taken the lead. Louisville now has put 17 straight on the board, Roddy. And all of a sudden, number 24 is in front of Pittsburgh.
My son Beckett was 2 years old when he was diagnosed with.
Going back to this touchdown pass from Malik Cunningham to Tutu Atwell, it's between Damar Hamlin and Jason Pinnock. You see Pinnock lets his man go. Hamlin lets his go. Tutu Atwell is wide open in the end zone. A miscommunication between those 2 players. You got to think one of them is supposed to be dropping deep. The other's supposed to be covering down. Either way, Louisville gets a touchdown out of it.
And there'll be no return off the kick from Louisville. Brock Travelstead boots it through, so Here come the Panthers. Right back to scrimmage from the 25-yard line. All right, now here's a case. Atwell's third touchdown catch of the year, by the way. 18 grabs already on the season. Now Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh have to battle adversity, really, Roddy, for the first time this year.
It's felt like they've controlled this game.
Right.
For most of it. I mean, Syracuse took a lead last week, and I guess they had to battle back from that, although their defense was dominating Syracuse offense. Now you are facing a foe that is your equal. How do you respond?
Here's Pickett. Doesn't have a seam to throw. Going to take off and run with it, and he's got 14, almost 15 yards on first down. Nicely done by Kenny Pickett. They'll measure it right to the 40. 1st and 10 coming up. Dorian Etheridge, the big linebacker, was chasing him.
Well, how about that? Kenny Pickett climbs in the pocket, faces up Dorian Etheridge, hits him with a little hesitation, and then takes off and gets the corner. Kenny Pickett showing off the athleticism.
Here's Pickett trying to spot one across the middle, and incomplete. Trying to find DJ Turner, it looked like. Coverage from Character. Boy, Marlon Character's been in a lot of football plays here in this first half.
Certainly has. This is not a secondary for Louisville that's very deep, but the guys that play have generally played pretty hard. You know, we mentioned the big plays that they gave up last week. Gave up a run of 75 yards, a pass of 75 yards, and a pass of 47 yards, all for touchdowns. Without that, they only average giving up 5 yards a play, which isn't terrible.
Vincent Davis back in the ball game, and now all of a sudden Louisville is starting to control things with their defensive front. That play got blown up. Burns was back there. Monty Montgomery has come in, and it looks like Gabe Hoy is down, the right tackle for the Panthers. It's a guy who's making his 10th career start today, but had better than 500 snaps a season ago. Just ahead of 6 minutes to play first half, and Louisville in front here at Heinz Field. Well, Gabe Hoy on the Pitt bench area. Injury to the right arm and wrist area, so we'll keep an eye on that. Keldrick Wilson has come in to back him up at the right tackle spot for a pretty big third down play with under 6 to go, and Louisville in front after the Cunningham to Atwell touchdown. And Pickett to throw, and the house is coming from Brian Brown. Pickett got to cut it loose somewhere. It does, and it is intercepted. No, caught. That ball caught in traffic. What a great catch by Jordan Addison here, Roddy. I thought that ball was going to be picked by Russ Yeast.
I did not think there was any chance that ball was even going to be completed. And I'm with you. When Yeast came cutting under, I thought that ball was picked as well. And it looks like Yeast may have actually helped Addison catch it, but nonetheless, Pitt with the big conversion.
What a throw. What a catch. Here's Pickett, little shovel ahead. And Vincent Davis picks up a little bit there. Maybe half of it to the 40.
Man, I'm going back to that third down play.
That third down play is unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. And that was a situation where you could not give the ball back to Louisville's offense.
Right.
What a conversion.
Remember now, here's the other aspect. We get a whistle blow. Did they stop play here? Yes, the timeout's been asked for by Pittsburgh. Here's the double up on the third down.
Pittsburgh, their second of the half. This is a 30-second
You're going to give
timeout.
Louisville the ball back sub 5 minutes.
Yep.
And guess who gets the ball to start second half?
Louisville.
Yeah.
Yep. They had a chance there, and they still might, but the fact that you get that conversion and you now are in plus territory and you have an opportunity to at least put points on the board, it's incredible. As we get another look at the catch, Kenny Pickett does a good job of keeping the play alive. See what happens with Yeast. It hits off of him into the lap of Jordan Addison.
Well, the bench thinks he's picked it.
Exactly. And he's got his hands on it. I don't know if Addison just snatches it away or what.
Oh, he got 2 down. It's a Sunday catch. Come on now. Jordan Addison.
What a play by the freshman. And you know, there's some guys that just have the knack for making plays like that. Just somehow it always happens. You call it, Calvin Johnson was one of those guys. Well, he typically physically dominated, but even so, you know,
right,
when the ball was in doubt, it was coming down to him.
Pulling off the shoe tops.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, Pat Narduzzi has seen the dynamics of this day change from a team that had a 13-0 lead to now Louisville 17 straight points to take the lead. And out of the timeout, second down. And here's Davis again, and he'll be shy of the first down. Shoe top tackle looked like Monty Montgomery was around the ball. Redshirt junior from Norcross, Georgia.
It's a really nice play by Montgomery. Ducks under the block of the left tackle Carter Warren, who had pulled around, and he was able to, as you said, get the shoe tops.
Yep.
Nice play.
Hand this to Davis with a flag down. It's a first down for Pittsburgh, and Vincent Davis bouncing away toward the 25. And we'll check the marker here with referee Mullins. Kenny Pickett walking toward Mark Whipple at the Pitt bench here as we sort out the flag.
The play just looked disjointed from the start. Pitt was a little confused on offense of where to line up, so not surprised to see a flag on this one.
Illegal motion. Number 80, offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot.
That's Daniel Moraga, the tight end, who is involved in the package today because Lucas Kroll, the grad transfer from Florida, who had a catch last week and has really done an outstanding job in the run game from a blocking perspective, Roddy, is not available today. And we saw Kroll before the game on crutches out on the Pitt bench area.
Kroll is a guy who physically can run, 6'6", 260 pounds. Just sort of get his feet under him, but yeah, he was on crutches, and so Pitt's got to dig more into that tight end depth here today.
So they go the redshirt junior Moraga, who cost him the first down play there. So now it is 3rd down and 7. And here's Pickett, a little delay shovel, and that was Turner, but going nowhere because that got handled very well by Rajay Burns. And here goes Pittsburgh with 3:38 to go, and the Panthers are going to try for 4th and 5.
I like the decision of Pitt to go for it here. Louisville has looked potent on offense. You mentioned they get the ball first in the second half. So go ahead and go for it and rely on your defense if Louisville's able to get the ball back to come up with a stop.
See what Pickett has planned. Cards bring a couple extra guys. There's the throw. Mack the catch, a first down. Taysir Mack to the 25. He spun off, stayed on his feet. He's going to go to the end zone, and it's going to be called a touchdown. It looked like Yasir Abdullah had him on the ground. Mack went ahead and kept going just in case. And just in case may have given Pittsburgh the lead.
Wes, if this stands, it's going to be a drive of almosts for this Louisville defense. I could not tell there if his knee hit the ground, but the referees didn't see it. And he gets to the end zone. But think about it. You have the almost interception, then you have the almost tackle that leads to a Pittsburgh touchdown.
Holy smokes. 8 plays, 75 yards, and 340 if it stands. But, of course, we're going to go under review here. And we just showed you the replay. It was bang, bang again, just like the play with Abdullah and Pickett a moment ago. And how about Yasir Abdullah? Makes the play on Pickett and then has the would-be tackle of Taysir Mack.
Yeah, it's this drive has been very 2020, if you will.
Yes, it has, Roddy. Yes, it has.
I see the catch there. Let's see if we can get a look. I don't see his knee hitting the ground. I think Taysir Mack was completely right in continuing. And
here's another look. Watch the knees.
Left one certainly does not hit. The right one is the one that's in question.
It hits the top of the shoe. Does not hit the ground.
Does not hit the ground. So, again, from the looks that we have seen so far, it is going to stand. It's a nice job of Taysir Mack playing through the whistle. And a great call on 4th down by Mark Whipple.
Right.
There's a levels concept on the backside. You had a dig above Taysir Mack, who was coming across on the drag. Mack gets the catch. Kenny Pickett finds him and delivers. Let's see if this one shows us anything we haven't seen. See,
he's either going to be down at the 25 or Pittsburgh's going to have the lead.
Well, with that, you can't see it definitively on that anyway. So this is another one where nothing else is going to stand from what we've seen so far.
A 40-yard touchdown pass on 3rd down if it stands. Oh, this will. No evidence the knee's on the ground there, right?
Right. And
the left knee, and the right knee swipes the top of the shoe.
Certainly does not hit the ground from that angle. And you have to commend Pitt. You know, in a year that's really weird, the guys that...
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
So that means it's a touchdown for Taysir Mack in Pittsburgh.
In a year that's been really weird, you've had guys had to sit out games for different reasons. Rashad Weaver comes back last week and is fantastic, and Taysir Mack in his first game back this week has made his presence felt.
Yep.
And shown why he was one of the best receivers in the conference a year ago. So whatever Pitt's doing to get their guys ready to play, it's working.
2 catches, 53, and a score. And now Kessman to try and make it a 3-point lead. And the kick is away and good. What a strange first half. What a strange first half. In the sense that we've had 2 weird plays involving the same player, by the way, Yasir Abdullah of Louisville, who got around the arm of Kenny Pickett, forced a fumble that Jared Goldwire recovered. 2 plays later, Malik Cunningham throws to Tutu Atwell. Then we come back on the ensuing possession. Kenny Pickett converts a 3rd down to Jordan Addison that looks like Russ Yeast is going to pick it or at least knock it away. And then a moment ago, Pickett to Taysir Mack for what is going to be a first down at the 25. Abdullah does not get him to the ground. Mack stays alive and scores while Louisville was looking for the whistle.
Yeah, on a 4th down conversion, too.
4th down.
I mean, go figure.
So that's where we are with 3:11 to go, and the Cards watch it bounce into the end zone, so they will start from their own 25-yard line. Louisville, by the way, will get next week off before a Friday night game in Atlanta against Georgia Tech. Pittsburgh going to welcome NC State here before the Panthers get to the road in a couple of weeks. But, Roddy, here are the key plays. I mean, this is just this game in a way here.
Yeah, Pickett rolls out. This is the 3rd down you were just talking about. Easton has a shot at it. Jordan Addison able to come up with it, and then you get Taysir Mack on 4th down. Spins around, keeps the play alive, and gets to the end zone.
And here is Cunningham trying to take the deep shot for Atwell, and a flag. No flag on the play. There was collision with Pinnock. And it'll be 2nd down and 10.
And we're trying to find Tutu Atwell and take a shot down the field on a deep over route. The ball was thrown behind and he tried to spin around.
Right.
It's a good call on the no flag. But again, Malik Cunningham under a little bit of duress when he's trying to get that ball away.
How about Randy Bates, the defensive coordinator? He brings Patrick Jones and Rashad Weaver in on 2nd down. Here's Cunningham dropping back again, hit by Jones as he throws, and Fitzpatrick can't pull it in over the shoulder, coming toward the Pittsburgh bench. So now 3rd in the full 10 with under 3 minutes to go. And a 3-point lead for Pat Narduzzi's team.
You mentioned Camp and Weaver coming in on 2nd down. You bring those guys in on 2nd down so they don't have to play what you think is going to be a run on 1st down. Keep them fresh for this one. Right. 3rd down where you've got 3rd and 10. Expect Louisville to go with something that doesn't allow those guys to tee off. A screen, some sort of shovel. Something that takes advantage of the aggressiveness of this Pitt defense.
Cunningham dropping back. Weaver had him for a moment and runs him right into a teammate. And that's Phil Campbell, the 5th-year senior. But that one gets halfway in the book for Rashad Weaver, Roddy.
It absolutely does. Rashad Weaver absolutely dominated off the line, and that's why if you're Louisville, you got to take advantage of the shots like you got on 2nd down. Des Fitzpatrick is open on that play, just a little overthrown. You put yourself in 3rd and long, and nobody in the country wants to be in 3rd and long with Rashad Weaver and Patrick Jones rushing the passer against you.
You bet. Lupo hangs it high, and it will hit and take a Louisville bounce, and Addison's going to walk off from it. So the Cards will down it inside the 25 at the Pittsburgh 23 with 2:07 to play here in this first half. Pat Narduzzi has 1 timeout remaining. Scott Satterfield has 2. As we go down the stretch, and remember the Cards will get the ball to start the second half. As you see that offense huddle up around Mark Whipple. And Jimmy Morrissey, the center, brings him out in his 39th career start today. Big number 67, the former walk-on. And there's a look at arguably one of the nation's best pivots.
It certainly is. He's been a good player for a long time here at
Pitt. Yep. Pickett on first down. Quick shot. Shockey Jock Louis steps out of bounds after 5. By the way, quickly on Morrissey. Jimmy Morrissey, he and Kenny Pickett on the same page a lot. Jimmy Morrissey said earlier this week, most guys before the game get fired up, they listen to rock and rap and things like that. Jimmy Morrissey, every once in a while, soundtrack to Jersey Boys.
Same thing that you do to get ready for the games, Wes.
Well, more Sinatra, but thanks, you're there. You're close. Here's the catch. Falling to the ground is Davis. That'll be a first down at the 36-yard line. I went back and double-checked that one to make sure I was right, too, before I told you that he listens to the soundtrack of Jersey Boys.
Can't put him out there like that without being spot on.
I double-checked it. 1st and 10. Pickett trying to get away from pressure. Slips up and will get forward to the 40 with 1:21 in a moving clock. Remember, Pittsburgh's got 1 to use. Diaby, the tackle, tripped him up.
I like the rhythm that Kenny Pickett's been in. A couple of easy passes early. Got some yardage on the scramble. Get this 2-minute offense going.
Almost a minute to go. Pickett going to cut it loose and almost a great catch. Moraga, the 6'3" tight end, almost hauled it in with Character banging away in the secondary.
How many times have we called the name of Marlon Character? But it looked like Moraga, as you said, had that ball in his hand. He had it controlled.
Character shaken up, too.
Shaken up.
So Marlon Character, and the clock will stop with 63 seconds left, and 3.5 dozen awaiting Pittsburgh. But they're going to check on the corner, the #1 junior college safety in the country a couple of years ago at Northwest Mississippi College, Marlon Character.
He got landed on. Watch when Moraga lands. He lands right on the legs of Character, and man, it's 225 pounds coming down on your leg, and it's exactly where Character was grabbing.
So Scott Satterfield out. And check on his senior corner. And the state of Pennsylvania is no fans at any events. So Pittsburgh has essentially played these 3 games and the one next week against NC State, Roddy, I think, without any fans. And it's created a unique environment that both Pat Narduzzi and Scott Satterfield talked about this week. And Kelsey, you were here last week for the Syracuse game. It's very ominous in some respect, isn't it?
It is. There's a few times during the game, Wes, where you really notice it. A couple of the players on the Pitt sideline earlier were jokingly turning around and trying to get the crowd hyped up. It's very weird when they run out. Coach Narduzzi told us last week that he was talking to his guys like, hey, do we want to go to the middle of the field like we normally do as if we're running through the band, or do we just go straight to the sidelines? And Jimmy Morrissey's like, Coach, let's just go straight to the sidelines. Let's not do anything extra. We've got the fog this week. Let's go straight to the sidelines and play football. But you do, once you're watching this game, guys, I will tell you, you do get pretty locked in and forget sometimes that it is empty.
No question. So here's the 3rd down and 6 play for the Panthers. By the way, Character helped off the field, got off under his own power. And procedure on Pittsburgh.
Full start. Number 3, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, the true freshman Addison. Unforced error there, turns 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 11.
And now this changes things. Do you go with the run play to try and draw out one of those timeouts that Scott Satterfield has and punt the ball away, or do you try and be aggressive and run the risk of an incomplete pass?
Yep. It's going to be a throw, and it's batted at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Trying to go to Taysir Mack. Goal wire, big 9-0 in the white. Got his hand up on it. And so with 58 seconds left, Kirk Christodoulou will try and drive one away here.
And Wes, that's big because Louisville's going to get the ball back with around 50 seconds left. 2 timeouts. It's plenty of time for this offense to get in field goal range at least.
Rajay Burns is deep. Has only 1 return on the year for 7 yards, and that was a couple of weeks ago in the opener against Western Kentucky. Christodoulou, little rugby kick toward Burns, and he will catch it going out of bounds at the Louisville 25-yard line. So 50 seconds is more than enough time we've seen today for Satterfield and the Cards to get on the board. Remember, their 2 touchdowns, Roddy, have come in 3 cumulative plays.
It's incredible. And they've been able to find some room in this Pitt secondary.
Right.
And on the last drive, Malik Cunningham just missed Des Fitzpatrick wide open on a corner route between the corner and the safety.
Yep.
So there has been opportunities for this Louisville offense. See what they decide to go with here to try and get some points on the board.
Don't forget Jordan Cornette and the fellas in the huddle standing by for the half. Game 1 of our ACC Network tripleheader. Duke and Virginia and NC State at Virginia Tech as the Cavaliers and Hokies make their season debuts today. And first down give is Hawkins, and he got wrapped up on the play, and that was Servassier Dennis making the stop.
Interesting choice by Louisville. It was one of those, we'll run this play, and if we get a big gain, then we likely speed it up and try and go for it. But it looks like Louisville's content to take this lead to the locker room.
Yep. 2nd and 10. Cunningham wants to throw. Here comes some trouble, and Malik Cunningham will not get away from Patrick Jones, Keyshawn Camp, and Rashad Weaver. It's a law firm on the Pitt defensive front.
Yeah, they are prosecutors in the backfield, taking down all defendants.
And that will be that for the first 30 minutes of play here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. The Panthers had scored 13 in a row to start. Louisville responded with 17 in a row. But a moment ago, Kenny Pickett to Taysir Mack has put the Panthers in front by 3 going to the locker room here at the half. And a score of 20-17. Let's go downstairs. Kelsey with Coach Narduzzi.
Coach, the decision to go for it on 4th down there paid off, and it's been back and forth all day. But how big is that momentum that you'll have heading into the half?
You know, it's nice to be up, on a good football team, obviously. Defensively, we gave up 2 touchdowns. Big plays, obviously a big run and a big pass down in a sudden change situation. But then offensively, we kicked 2 field goals. When we get down inside the 30-yard line, we got to score touchdowns. But it's nice to go into halftime. It's a new game in the second half.
And speaking of that, we knew headed into this game that this was going to be a battle of your talented defense versus their talented offense. What do you need to do to win that battle in the second half?
You know what? We're doing a good job of getting 4-man pressure and sacking the quarterback. We need to get about 4 more in the second half.
Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, Pat Narduzzi and Kelsey Riggs. His team with a 3-point lead, 20-17. Louisville will get the ball to start the second half. Malik Cunningham to Tutu Atwell, and then Kenny Pickett to Taysir Mack has the Panthers ahead by 3 at the break. On the airport? Okay, all right. So Pittsburgh 240 yards and 20 more plays, Roddy, here in this first half. You see the average of 5.5, but the 5 sacks as well posted by Narduzzi's defense.
Well, that difference in plays came entirely from the first quarter. The 2 teams actually ran the exact same number of plays in the second, but the first quarter is really what allowed Pitt to get out to this lead. And those 5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss so far against Pittsburgh after a Louisville team, or for Pittsburgh, this Louisville team gave up 10 in each of the first 2 games.
Ball is kicked away by Kessman. There'll be no return. Hassan Hall was deep. And the Cards will take over from their 25, and they had some big plays too.
They certainly did. Javian Hawkins, 75-yard run to get him on the board, just motoring down the field, outrunning the onslaught from this secondary. But all in all, this was a huge play. It was called a fumble on the field, reviewed, the play stood. That led to Louisville, Malik Cunningham to Tutu Atwell in the corner of the end zone. It's a Louisville team that really survived Pitt getting after him in the first quarter to Pretty close.
Ooh, trying to get Hawkins started. He spun away from Jones and got hit by Camp and then a couple of others, Kelsey.
Yeah, I talked to Scott Satterfield about what he liked from his team in the first half. He said defensively they were playing solid, but they have got to get off of the field. He says Pitt's defense is just kicking their tails. They've got to find a way to change that in the first part of this second half. He says right now this drive is very important. They've got to find a way to get some points on the board.
Well, that time Cam Bright finished off the work of Patrick Jones, and now second and long. And now Cunningham trying to go up over the top, and it's intercepted. And it's picked off, and coming back is Marquez Williams with the interception. And Pittsburgh's going to end up with plus field possession after the turnover by the Cards. Justin Marshall, the intended receiver.
And it looked like Marshall had a step on Pinnock. As you see, this is what Pitt does. They get the ball and they go and dunk it when they get an interception. But watch this. Marshall has a step. Pinnock just plays it really well. Kind of does a little veteran move, shoving him just past the ball, and then picks it off. It's not pass interference. The receiver's got to be strong and go up. It's a nice job by Marquez Williams. Excuse me, I think I said Pinnock earlier. Getting the interception.
So the turnover with 14-13 to go here in the third. On the second snap. And here's Davis back to work. Vincent Davis on his 7th carry of the day. This thing's out of control, by the way.
How excited they get. That's awesome. That's one of the better things. Like, you got props all over the place. I like the turnover dunk.
The turnover dunk, yes. Kenny Pickett on second down and overthrows Jared Wayne on the cross. So 3rd and 5. Roddy, we were getting ready to talk about the premium of the Louisville possession. And all of a sudden we get a turnover. And now here's Pittsburgh with a 3-point lead in early quarter 3. And a chance to do some damage here, but you got to get this third down taken care of.
Well, Kelsey had barely finished the sentence of Scott Satterfield saying that he needed to get points out of this drive before the interception came, and that just shows you how important he thinks it is for a good start to the second half.
Now bringing pressure on third down. Pickett rips it from the pocket, and that's caught. That's the tight end Moraga, and that's a first down to the 21. Almost got him in the first half on what would have been a fantastic catch. Character back in the ball game made the tackle for the Cardinals. Remember, he had left shaken up late in the first half.
Yeah, he had. It's good to see him back, and this Pitt team now has a chance to put points on the board and really make Louisville chase.
Pickett escapes up the field. Kenny Pickett gets a first down inside the 20 and then gears down about the 18-yard line.
You know, Wes, Brian Brown, the defensive coordinator for Louisville, talked to us this week about getting pressure with 4. Louisville's been able to do that at times, but they haven't been able to bring Kenny Pickett down because of the lanes that have opened up in the middle. He has done a fantastic job extending plays and picking up yards with his legs.
So fresh set of downs at the 18. You see Vincent Davis going into the holster of Kenny Pickett on the gun. And that ball is offline and incomplete. 2 guys were out there, Addison and Wayne. By the way, the injury to Hoy has caused some shuffling. I noticed Carson Van Lin has come into the ball game now to play the right tackle spot. With Jake Cradle, Jimmy Morrissey, Bryce Hargrove, and Carter Warren, who they just could not speak highly of enough in the meeting we had with Pat Narduzzi about just Carter Warren reshaping his body, just being a totally different player than he was a year ago at that left tackle spot. Pickett and sacked and fumbled, but recovered on the play by Davis. Boy, he got lit up by Abdullah. Yasir Abdullah has been around the football today.
He certainly has. And Louisville actually brought the corner. And you mentioned Van Lin coming out. He slides out to the corner. Nobody picks up Abdullah. Does a nice job stripping the ball for the strip sack. Pitt fortunate they were able to recover it. Yep. Vincent Davis is right there.
So now 3rd and very long. Cards bringing 4. They'll slip it here to Davis on the near side, trying to get something in the screen game and cannot because Monty Montgomery lowered the boom.
And with Alex Kessman making 2 earlier, it allows you to change your play calling so much. On a 3rd and long, you go with a conservative call because you know that with Kessman kicking the ball well, you're able to get points.
He hit from 45 and 41, and this is 42 for Kessman. On the near hash mark. And the kick is good. So 3 field goals for Alex Kessman today. And now the lead expands. 6 points for the Panthers. Back after this.
Welcome back out to Pittsburgh, and the Panthers on top right now 23-17. This defense getting all kinds of pressure up front. 7 sacks already. And guys, they're doing it without Jalen Twyman, who opted out this offseason. I had a chance to talk to one of their former star defensive linemen about what it's been like. He told me on Saturdays he turns his phone off, sits around, watches the players throughout the week. He's still in the group chats. He's talking to them about what he sees that they've done last week, what the team should expect against their opponent. He said he is so dialed in and working hard right now, training to get ready for the NFL draft. Also still completing his college degree, guys. All
right, first down carry, and this is Abanikanda getting started. Not much there. Kelsey, I found the fact that he stays is locked in, and Roddy, that may surprise people because you hear opt out and you think not connected, not tied to the thing at all, and that's not the case, right?
No, not the case at all. He's incredibly tied to these guys, and Paris Ford said the same thing. Look, we understand he made a decision for himself that he needed to, and Jalen told me it was hard. Really, it didn't have to do with COVID for him. It had to do with the fact that he wants to take care of his family. And a lot of these other NFL guys, NFL hopefuls, had opted out and getting ready for the draft, and now that's something that is on his radar and down working in Florida right now.
All right, Twyman joins a list of guys. Some elected this week with the return of the Big Ten, Roddy, to try and opt back in. Rondell Moore of Purdue, Rashad Bateman of Minnesota, 2 of those guys. But you saw a list of guys. Kennedy Brooks at Oklahoma, big list there. I mean, so.
And with Kelsey's story and talking to Jalen, I thought the most interesting thing is the fact that he said it had nothing to do with COVID. He wants to be able to take care of his family. And that's what a lot of these guys face. And we don't know the family situations of a lot of them. And the opportunity to declare pro and be able to make money to take care of your family is certainly something that weighs on the minds of all of it. And as Kelsey said, with Jalen, it certainly did with him as well.
So they've stopped, and Stuart Mullins has got the headset on here, just past the midway point of quarter 3. And I think they're looking for a potential targeting violation here. And Rajay Burns right there, Roddy.
It's one of those that's...
This is Abanikanda.
So he is a runner. I would not consider him a defenseless player. You have to have an indicator of targeting, which is a launch, a thrust from a crouch. I don't necessarily see the indicator. He certainly does lower the head and strike, but isn't an attack. We've seen many of these. Declared this year that there was no attack in the targeting. I just see that. I don't see the attack there, Wes. I don't see the indicator. I don't see the launch, the thrust. There was a slight lowering of the helmet, but I don't know if that's going to qualify. Right. I just don't see enough there for it to be confirmed, because you have to confirm every part of it for it to be declared target.
Yep. Now, folks at home watching the ball game may say, well, wait a second. We had the crown of the helmet hit the other front, but the parts leading up to that is what we're talking
After
about.
further review, there is no foul for targeting on the play.
There you go.
Down.
If we can, our director Tim Sutton here will run through that one more time, because I want you to, this is a good reminder that what the action is, Roddy, has to be preceded by certain things.
Yeah, you're asking if you do see an indicator, which is a launch, a thrust from a crouch, or a lowering of the head, is it then an attack with the crown of the helmet? And that's that word attack is what I think. Even if you do see the indicator, the lowering of the head, I don't see the attack there. So a good call by the referees, and honestly, it should be reviewed.
Yep.
but ultimately a good call.
Third down nonetheless here for the Panthers after the play. Pickett steps up, zips it across the middle of the field in a big collision with Jared Wayne, and now a flag has been thrown there on the hit by Yeast. And Character was involved, of course, because Marlon Character seemingly been around the football all day.
That was a big hit. I'm interested to see what the call was, what the call is. It's one of those bang-bang plays that's so big that you, again, go to targeting. Was there the potential there? Came in a little bit late, but looks like these referees are discussing.
Yep. And the question on the review. Here's referee Mullins.
Personal foul, targeting, defense. The play is under further review.
All right, so here we go again.
This is a first for us as a crew. Back-to-back targetings that we get to review.
Isaiah Hayes involved in the play here, maybe?
Yeah, I don't think that one is going to be targeting at all. Just from that view, I mean, he doesn't strike with the head. He strikes with the shoulder. He doesn't strike him in the head or neck area. It's right in the rib cage. This one's going to be pretty quick. It's just honestly, that's exactly what you want to happen in that situation. You want a guy to go to that midsection with his shoulder to break up the pass. It's just a fantastic play. No way that's targeting.
Yep. And this is going to be outside of the fumble by Pickett. If this is indeed just ruled an incomplete pass and targeting is waved off here, this is going to be the first 3 and out. Throw away the fumble of Pickett on the hit by Abdullah. This will be the first 3 and out Louisville's defense posted today.
There'll be the first 3 and out and punt. There was one earlier where they kicked the field goal.
That's it.
There is no foul for targeting. 4th down.
So again, Roddy takes you through the indicators.
Yeah, you can see it there. That last one that we saw is, again, one of those big hits that the flag is thrown. You have to confirm it. It gets overturned. But the first one we saw, you get caught up. The attack, the indicators, those are sort of the buzzwords that came in last year, and the fact that every element of targeting has to be confirmed. There's no stands anymore. If you can't confirm it, it is then overturned.
So that's Hayes who made the play to dislodge the ball from Wayne. Christodoulou to punt to Rajay Burns. Still a 6-point game here at Heinz Field. Kirk Christodoulou gets a leg into this. Burns back at the 19. Looking for some room, and we'll get to the 25, and we're going to play on from Heinz Field. Number 21 Pittsburgh by 6 on 24th ranked Louisville when we continue. All right, the Aflac trivia question. Who played in ESPN's first live nationally televised regular season football game? September 1, 1984, BYU defeated Pitt at Venerable Pitt Stadium 20-14. The turf was as hard as a parking lot. Here is Cunningham, first down shot downfield, 2-2 Atwell, and it's broken up on the play by DeMar Hamlin. And Roddy, as they say, let's roll the videotape. Robbie Bosco, Adam Haysbert, 50 yards late in the 4th quarter. Lavelle Edwards' team wins 20-14.
BYU wins the national championship that year, despite Washington having, I don't know, maybe a harder schedule. I don't know. It's controversial, but anyway.
I got to tell you, it does my heart good to see the old Pitt Stadium turf. First time these two schools played, Roddy. October 9th, 1976. The Panthers were 2nd in the country. Some guy from Western PA carried it 30 times for 130. Tony Dorsett. But it was Dorset then.
Before everybody knew how to pronounce his name.
Right.
So with this Louisville drive, I like them taking the shot on first down. Malik Cunningham didn't have enough arm to get it out to 2-2 Atwell, but I like that mentality of attacking. They still find themselves in another 3rd down where Pitt's going to call a timeout, but those guys on the edge were getting ready to unleash.
Pittsburgh, they're first of the half.
Well, okay.
This is a 30-second timeout.
So the 6-point lead, and of course 33 is on one of the banners here, one of the great banners they've got at Heinz Field you see with Dan Marino and, of course, Larry Fitzgerald. And on the other side, they give you Mark May, Jimbo Cobert, Bill Fralick, Mike Ditka, Hugh Green, who was one of my all-time favorites as a kid growing up.
What a crew that they've had come through here. Larry Fitzgerald's going to play as long as Brady is, isn't he?
Seemingly. All right, you mentioned the first down throw from Satterfield's team.
Yep.
Okay, then take me through the logic. If you're going to throw it on first down, the premium then on the second down play, you got to get more than, what, 4?
Well, it's huge. The thing that you're counting on when you throw it on first down, they got the matchup they wanted. They got Tutu Atwell and DeMar Hamlin. You just got to be able to complete the pass. I mean, Tutu's got Hamlin by 3 or 4 steps, but because the pass is underthrown, it's incomplete. I actually think it was a decent second down gain. You're right, getting 4 yards and making it 3rd and 6.
Cunningham hitting 64% of his passes coming in, is 50% until the throw here for Hawkins, who slips down ahead of the chain at the 34. So Pittsburgh. And I see Louisville now to 4th and 2, and
I like that Scott Satterfield is at least thinking about this. It looks like he's going to send the punt team on, but I would not have been surprised if they had gone for it. I think down 6, the way your defense has played, they have not been getting run over by Pittsburgh.
Nope.
So the way the defense is playing, and you have faith and punt the ball away, but that was getting close to the part of the field where you're thinking about going for it.
so Logan Lupo going to wait, and now delay a game is taken.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
They were trying to make Pittsburgh jump. Nobody budged, right?
That's what it looked like. That's the only reason you would even take that 5 yards. I mean, this is kind of turned into a field position game.
Well, the Panthers did leave the defense on the field. Thinking of that. And it only took that brief pause at the Louisville bench for that to happen, by the way.
Yeah.
And they're still going to fake it. Around the edge they go. First down and more for Louisville. Down the far sideline, Tabarius Peterson, the defensive lineman.
Scott Satterfield outthought the Pittsburgh coaching staff there. They left the defense on, and Scott Satterfield wanted to call that fake. So he takes the delay of game for Pitt to put the punt return team on the field and then still runs the fake. That was an incredible series there. A great job by this Louisville offense and a great job by Scott Satterfield of being a step ahead.
Fake punt pays off with Peterson. And the drive is alive for the Cardinals, who are down 6. Addison had to come over and take down a big man now, 260 pounds. Who, by the way, could really run.
He was rumbling.
He wasn't rumbling, he was striding.
That was quite the turn of events, because you and I were sitting up here a little confused why you take the delay of game in that scenario, but it's to encourage the opposing sideline to put the punt return team on, so you can get the look that you want for the fake. It's just a fantastic job. Tabarius Peterson rumbling, bumbling, stumbling down the sideline.
I'd say so. Second down. Now Cunningham to throw. Going to cut it loose for Atwell again, and Tutu can't catch up to it. Pennock was the defender with him. So now right back to 3rd and 6 again for the Cards.
If I'm Louisville, you keep going back to it. It does not matter how often you get that man coverage. If you can get Tutu Atwell in man coverage, make them cover him. You're going to complete one of them, so keep putting the pressure on.
So 3rd and 6 again.
And you have to think it's 2-down territory for Louisville.
Louisville 1 of 7 today on 3rd down, Roddy. They came in at 43%. Here's Cunningham on the keeper. Steps out of 1 and will be cut down short at the 31. It's a yard to the first down stake. And if he went for it on 4th and long after a delay of game, you know for sure Scott Satterfield's going to load it up here.
Well, the creativity to use the aggressiveness of this defensive line against them. They've tried screens. They've tried little flare passes with blockers out in front. That time they just go with the quarterback draw.
All right, both the tight ends have checked in now. Fitzpatrick and Atwell to the bottom of your screen. You see Hawkins and Ford are in the backfield with Cunningham.
Let's not forget, Pitt has 12 tackles for loss so far in this game. They have been in the backfield all day long.
There's Cunningham, wants to throw, hit as he does. They're looking for Atwell. Incomplete, and a flag will be thrown against A.J. Woods. And Louisville gets to extend the drive on the penalty here.
Again, you keep going to it.
Pass interference. Number 25, defense. 15-yard penalty and an automatic. First down.
You read man-to-man coverage and you just throw it up. And it's either Tutu Atwell is going to win it, or if you underthrow it, you get what just happened to A.J. Woods, who is beat. And because he's beat, doesn't recover to turn around for the football. Runs into Tutu Atwell, no doubt.
Atwell gears down a little bit, too.
Well, it's smart. You are taught as a receiver in that situation to go back and attack the ball or slow down and wait for it right where it is. Don't keep fading. Draw that contact.
Here's Cunningham setting again, trying to throw the backside for Pfeiffer, broken up by Ford. So now Satterfield's really starting to dive into the book here a little bit.
Tried to go with the tight end throwback there. Paris Ford was all over it. That was actually a pretty dangerous pass by Malik Cunningham, because Ford may have come away with the pick had that ball been thrown accurately.
He's had 2 in 2 games already. He's got 5 in his career, playing in his 25th game today. From Steel Valley High School in the Pittsburgh area. Here's Hawkins trying to slide through traffic, nowhere. And that is Cam Bright. Wendell Davis not playing today had been a big factor against teams like Syracuse last week. But Bright and Pine, some of these other guys have stepped up as well.
Yeah, and really bottled up Javian Hawkins, forcing another third down for Louisville. So Hawkins off the field. The question is, how many of these plays do you have if you're Louisville, where you can go to, you are almost guaranteeing that you're not going to get sacked, because this Pitt defensive line has been in the zone, if you will.
Hassan Hall in the backfield now. Cunningham wants to throw, pressure coming, hit as he does. Atwell caught it. Is he in? Juggled it going through the end zone, ended up on the tarp, and Tutu Atwell might be hurt.
Let's not forget, those are seats under there, those plastic seats that are normally fans are occupying.
So Atwell shaken up on the play. And Louisville has asked Turner to come out and try the field goal. Atwell never had possession of the ball.
That's a touchdown if you're Louisville, and, and he's able to come up with that cleanly. To go to him again, there was some confusion on Pitt. They were shuffling guys around, trying to figure out who was going to cover who. I hope Atwell's okay. He's jogging off the field now.
So this is going to be roughly about a 33, 34-yard field goal for Turner, who hit earlier today from 38. The holder is Ryan Harwell. Kick is away and right down the seam. So the field goal cuts it to 3 at 23-20. Roddy with 6:01 to play in the third.
Yeah, and Louisville really seemed to figure out what they wanted to do on that drive, and that's find wherever Tutu Atwell is, find the one-on-one matchup if Pitt's going to play man-to-man, and go to that consistently, and it almost paid off in a touchdown.
Well, Roddy and Kelsey, we had a great visit with Pat Narduzzi this week, who talked extensively about just this defensive culture and mindset that he has with this football program, and particularly that unit this particular year, but also the fact that it's kind of the way he grew up. He played for his dad. Look at this great picture at Youngstown State, middle 1980s. Pat and his dad, Bill Narduzzi. And then Coach Narduzzi ultimately got into coaching. And he lost his dad at an early age. His dad was, I think, said early 50s, right, when
51.
he passed away? Yeah.
Yep.
And one of the things that spawned from his dad's early passing was that Pat Narduzzi I think, and Kelsey, he talked about, I'm going to get my coaches, they're going to get physicals. It's a hard job, right? Here's the kick, and Addison from the goal line. And he will be brought down shy of the 20. Kelsey.
Yep. Yeah, Wes, not sure if you guys can hear me, but you teed it up there perfectly. Coach Narduzzi has a history with his father. He had cancer, passed away when he was 51 years old. And so he says coaches don't take care of himself. So he makes all of his coaches get physicals. Well, fast rewind really to last year. And Randy Bates, their defensive coordinator, says he was moaning the whole way down to get a physical. It was at that physical that he found out he had tonsil cancer. It's something that they kept in the team all last year, Wes.
Throwing first down to Taysir Mack. Picks up about 9. Kelsey, Randy Bates was unbelievable talking about this with us the other day.
He was, because he said it just meant so much to him. Basically, the team was told that he was battling cancer, and they were able to keep it within the family. He said it meant so much to him. He would walk in, and there were days that Paris Ford and some of these other guys would just look at him as he's going through chemo and radiation and just give him a hug and say, hey, Coach, we're here with you. He says it was a great escape for him just to get away for a little while, and it meant so much to the players as well.
It's a great story, and Randy Bates, a remarkable coaching journey. And here is Davis spinning away toward midfield before the Cardinals can finally draw him down, Roddy.
Yeah, and Randy Bates wanted us to let everybody know that he came here, Pittsburgh, he thought to coach a team, but it was really to have his life saved by the fact that Pat Narduzzi made him go get a physical. So the one thing he told us at the end was, make sure you let everybody know who's listening to go get a physical. It saved my life. And Pat Narduzzi talked about the fact that these coaches often don't want to do it, almost never want to do it, but it is so important. And Pat Narduzzi asked all of us, you going to got your physical?
Checking us out, making sure we were good. Toward midfield, Vincent Davis kind of getting things geared up here in the last half minute of the third period, isn't it? Because Davis now has sparked this Pittsburgh possession.
He has, and we've seen Pitt go under center some. I don't know if we'd seen that at all before this drive. Pitt going under center, looking a little bit more like Pat Narduzzi's teams have in the past, and they will take a 3-point lead into this fourth quarter.
We go to the fourth quarter, 2 ranked teams. 23-20, Pittsburgh the lead. Game 1 of a triple header today on ACC Network, and we have got a good one going to quarter 4. Big plays back and forth. It's not been perfect, but it has been entertaining. Final 15 is next from Heinz Field. Well, don't forget tonight, 11 Eastern, the Huddle. Jordan Cornette, Eric McLean, E.J. Manuel, Mark Rick. Complete breakdowns of all 6 ACC games today. It's a great way to finish a super Saturday of ACC football right here on ACC Network, and always available to you streaming on the ESPN app. Georgia Tech, Syracuse at this hour. Duke, Virginia with Chris Cotter, Mark Herzlich, and our man Eric Wood standing by Roddy. And Charlottesville, Texas State, Boston College, Florida State, Miami, NC State, Virginia Tech. Still to come on the card in the conference. Opening play of the fourth, and give you some more Vincent Davis here. Right to the 45 of the Cards. It'll be 3rd and a little less than 5.
What is Mark Whipple setting up here with that I formation? Is it just a change up, or is he working on something for a little bit later? But they find themselves in 3rd down. And
Pittsburgh, by the way, is scrapped around a 7 of 14 day on 3rd down. Louisville 1 of 9.
And still, this Louisville defense has kept them in the game.
Yeah.
Only giving up 23.
Turner in motion, Pickett push in the pocket, and Turner the catch on a 1st down. Knocked out of bounds and done so over there by Avery. And that will convert it to the 38.
That was a nice play call. Just get Turner across in motion, a natural pick on the outside, and you get an easy completion with the rollout.
You mentioned earlier in this second half Be interesting if Louisville has to chase. Well, it's a 3-point game. A touchdown here would put them in chase mode, right?
Yeah, and it feels like Pitt's trying to shorten the game, going to this I formation, running the football.
Yep. Here is Davis banging away, looking for an extra block. Got it inside the 25 to the 24, and a nice run there. Isaiah Hayes the tackle. Meanwhile, Vincent Davis continues to drive the Pittsburgh offense here.
Pat Narduzzi has said a number of times he's looking for one of these running backs to just take it, to be the guy. Vincent Davis is starting to look like he's starting to feel it a little bit. Could he emerge and be the guy out of this crew?
Well, this young guy from Cardinal Gibbons High School in Fort Lauderdale is just got 14 on that carry and looking for more. Here's a play fake and a boot for Kenny Pickett going to the far side. Made one move on Burns, and Yeast will take him down around the 18. Naked bootleg, right? I know where you're going with this.
Pat Narduzzi told us over and over this week that Louisville does stuff like this. He says, who runs naked bootlegs?
Right.
Well, the first one we see today is it's for Pitt.
Yeah.
Kenny Pickett rolling out on a naked bootleg and getting a nice game.
Can I guess that you're going to bring that up in the production call next week?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing NC State and Pittsburgh here next Saturday at noon as well in our ACC network coverage. Meanwhile, 2nd and 4, and the Panthers now trying to find it. Davis and cannot get started. Big time play in the back that time. Diaby, who went to Georgia Military College where he played for Burt Williams, has come here to Louisville, taken one of these end spots in the 34 employed by Brian Brown, and he's played well today.
Yeah, they don't cut off the backside, and Diaby's able to make the play. But just notice the difference in pace that we're getting from this Pittsburgh offense. They are trying to limit the number of possessions that Louisville gets in this fourth quarter. And if they're able to convert here on third down, they're going to continue that.
Yep. Snap to Pickett. Back across the middle and intercepted off the deflection. The ball picked off, and that's C.J. Avery working back up the far sideline and across the 40 to the 45. How about C.J. Avery off the deflection? And just like that, the game changes again with 11.5 minutes to play.
It's a pretty nice throw by Kenny Pickett, it looked like, and it was Jordan Addison, the receiver on that one, just had to go right through his hands. Another turnover for this Pitt offense, second of the day. Let's see where this ball is. It's a little high and outside, and the deflection makes it an easy pick for C.J. Avery. So not quite as on target as I originally thought, but Louisville able to dodge a bullet.
Yep. And a nice return by Avery. So they set up shop here at the 45. Malik Cunningham. And this is Hall trying to get to the perimeter, keeps his feet across midfield, and then finally taken down by big Tyler Bentley.
Well, a few times today, Louisville's gotten anything going on first down with that outside zone play. A really nice job on that one.
Let's check with Kelsey.
Yeah, Wes, I just wanted to tell you guys something that I noticed. I'm over on the Louisville sideline, and on those last two plays, everyone nearly is on their feet being as loud as they can. This is the first time Louisville has had to play with no one as around, and they said, hey, we'll manufacture the energy we need on the sidelines. We know these coaches definitely have energy, and the players were involved there too.
Cunningham trying for the shot and the interception. And it's Hamlin who's come up with the pick. And now DeMar Hamlin will circle around the field. They'll get the basketball goal ready. And DeMar will set it down.
That was one of those LeBron James bring it back and slam it. Crazy turn of events. And it looked like Malik Cunningham was just thrown off by the coverage on that one. Louisville confused him. Looked like he expected man. He certainly did not expect Hamlin to fall off and recover under this route. But an easy pick for DeMar Hamlin.
5th career interception for Hamlin, who went to Central Catholic. And he and Ford clearly the guys in the secondary.
Malik Cunningham only threw 5 interceptions all year last year. He's thrown 3 in this early campaign already.
Pittsburgh from the 32. Abanaconda getting started on the drive. Picked up a couple of the 34, and Roddy, here's the clock.
Yep. Mark Whipple is more than happy playing at different tempos. We saw them early in the game going at a pretty good pace. But here it's going to be huddle. It's going to be Kenny Pickett run to the sideline. Let's run the football.
Yep. Keep an eye on that play clock as much as you watch the game clock on this Pittsburgh possession. Here's the throw backside, trying to go to Mack, and broken up on the play across the way by Clark.
It's a fantastic play.
Sure was.
Just sat on the route, broke on it, undercut it. I thought he had a chance at picking it at some point, but that ball was a little outside. He was able to knock it down. And as much as we've talked about Louisville's struggles on offense today, this Louisville defense has done a pretty darn good job against Pitt on offense.
Yep.
They've been put in some bad situations over the course of this game and forced Pitt to kick field goals and have really kept this game close.
Here's Pickett firing to the far side. What a catch by Addison. A shoe-top catch around the 47-yard line. He's measured out at the 50, and that'll extend the drive. Can't say enough about the freshman today.
This kid is going to be a star in this league, and if it doesn't happen this year, it is going to happen during his career. That's as good a catch as you'll see.
So here's Kenny Pickett. Abanaconda 5 to the 45. And Roddy, I mentioned the play clock a moment ago, and you've got it on our screen for you. As you see that game clock tick, look where Pitt's snapping the ball. It's down like 12, 11, 10. They're not taking it all the way down. You know, they don't want to mess with their own operation, but they're certainly not in a hurry.
Well, again, you just want to limit the number of shots that Louisville's going to get in this one. And if you're able to put points on the board, that obviously makes it tougher, but so does the fact that your defense has played well, and Louisville is just not going to have a ton of shots. As you see, Pitt moves the chains with another first down.
Yep, that'll take them up near 150 yards of rushing in the ball game. The Panthers came in averaging 137 through the first 2 ball games. Louisville was allowing 139.5, and now all of a sudden the 8:22 mark. First down and 10. Right around the Louisville 38-yard line in a 3-point ball game. Abanaconda stays in the backfield. Pickett wants to throw here. Works to the right, and that ball got knocked out of bounds, and then it went out near the 40 or the 39, which would not be a significant loss. Let's see where Stuart Mullen spots it here. That's the 42, so it is a loss of 3.
I was surprised that Pitt got away from just running the ball on first downs. Worked out pretty well for him.
Well, interesting, too, because the young freshman, Abanaconda, was in there as the running back, and Pickett wanted to throw. And remember, in our conversation, the last pieces that they're looking for in these young guys is the ability to pass block.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Pickett on the perimeter. That is Trey Tipton. Roddy, the one thing you notice about Pittsburgh this year, significant depth, wide receiver, and running back.
Yeah, I think over the course of the year, you're going to see likely Taysir Mack and Jordan Addison sort of separate themselves in terms of number of catches. But it's not going to be like last year where you had Maurice French catching 90-something balls. It's not going to be that concentrated because of the depth.
Right.
Both at running back, as you said, and at receiver. And so Kenny Pickett's going to feel comfortable going all over the place with a lot of his different weapons.
All right, here's 3rd and 9 for a Panther offense that's 9 of 17 today. Under 7 minutes we go. Cardinals bring forward, quick throw, crossing route. Addison trying to turn it upfield, and he got knocked down at the 32-yard line. 6:46 to play in the game. And Mark Whipple and Kenny Pickett, a quick conversation in front of the Pittsburgh bench here. And
well, you're kind of in no man's land. It'd be a 50-yard field goal, 49, 50-yard field goal if you elect to go that way. So I think if you're Pitt, you line up and if nothing else, try and draw Louisville off sides.
You've run it well, though, in the drive.
That's a good point, yeah.
4th and 4. That's Addison going to the slot. Snap to Pickett. Kenny going to look, now pump, now throw, and dropped. It hit Turner right at the 22-yard line, and DJ Turner couldn't squeeze it.
It's a really nice job of this Louisville defense. Once again, I don't think you can say enough about the performance of this defense with the offense's struggles today. Keeping them in the ball game. They were able to get close, but stopped once again.
All right, 6:02 to play. The Cards will get the ball back, trailing 3 when we continue from Pittsburgh.
False start. Number 75, offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
3-point game, 6 minutes to go, and as we rejoin you, a false start penalty on the Cards. So behind the chain now goes Malik Cunningham, trying to get Hawkins going today, and it's been tough for Javian Hawkins. He did have the one explosive play back late in Q1, but elsewise, Pittsburgh's done a great job hemming it in.
Yeah, it's his stat line is going to look like 13 carries so far for about 79 yards. 75 of those came on one play, so that average of 6.3 is a little misleading.
Right.
You talk about Javian Hawkins there.
2nd down and 13. Here's Cunningham trying to work up the field, and whoa, got away from one, and then the traffic really got thick. And number 12 was right there. Paris Ford along with DeMar Hamlin.
Have not called Paris Ford's name aloud. It's been more DeMar Hamlin today, but Ford has been all over the field, especially in the run game. He and Hamlin, maybe the best tandem of safeties in the entire conference.
Yep.
One of the best in the country. They complement each other so well. Ford doing a lot of the stuff to the boundary in the run game, and Hamlin, as Coach Narduzzi describes it, one of the best cover safeties in the country.
3rd down and 7. Under 5 to go. Cunningham put it up for grabs, and it was caught, but shy of the first down. Pfeiffer, the tight end, but was Malik Cunningham in the grasp? He is down on the play. And a timeout asked for by referee Stuart Mullins here.
And Wes, I'm not sure he started the game with that knee brace on. I think that's something that's new over the course of this game. A great play by Malik Cunningham of getting the ball out.
Well, now, Roddy, an interesting situation. He's got to leave the field for one play.
Yeah, unless Scott Satterfield will elect to take a timeout. And,
right.
And on a 4th down, I think it'd be worth it, if he can, if he's okay, to take that timeout.
Meanwhile, Evan Conley looks like he's getting ready to warm up across the way. And Conley, the sophomore from Kell High School outside of Atlanta. He was the hero of the Wake win last year. Remember late in the season?
Yeah.
In Winston-Salem?
That was a heck of a ball game.
Yes, it was. Like arena football on field turf.
It certainly was. I'm a little surprised to see Scott Satterfield punting the ball away here down near midfield.
But he knows Pitt's going to run the ball, and he's got 3 timeouts.
Yeah, but you're really counting on stopping Pitt.
Right.
Pretty quickly, because they're going to go into their they've been in their 4-minute offense the entire 4th quarter, it seems like.
Pittsburgh's leaving the defense on the field. That got punted away toward Addison, who will make the fair catch. We'll take a timeout. 3-point game. 4:16 to go at Heinz Field.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh. It's a 3-point game, and as we told you at the beginning of this game, Louisville players very aware and affected by what's happening in Louisville in wake of the recent news about Breonna Justice and the ruling in that case. And we spoke to players and Scott Satterfield about that and what they've done throughout the year. He says basically at the beginning of the year, they sat down after George Floyd was killed, and they said they were going to have a plan He listened to his players. They came up with a 10-point plan of things that they could do throughout this season. Scott Satterfield said the main thing for him was A, he wanted to listen to his players, and B, he didn't want them to have an emotional reaction quickly that they could not act on later. So they have this plan that they have enacted throughout the season, and we will continue to see things like that from these Louisville players, guys.
Here is Pickett and the Panthers to work, and they give it to Turner on a little sweep around the edge for 5, 10, 15, knocked out of bounds up around the 40, 41-yard line. And Kelsey, it was really informative to visit with Scott Satterfield just about kind of how they were installing all of this.
Yeah, you know, one of the things that they've done is every Monday they release videos on social media from different position groups of what their thoughts and feelings are surrounding social injustice. The other thing they do is they bring in speakers every Monday, and some of the players told me that has been incredibly impactful because you're hearing from people who are in all different walks of life and getting their perspective, not just on social justice, but what these guys can do to be better men all around. So definitely making an impact for these Louisville players.
1st and 10 for the Panthers, who are right in the run game now, and now Davis is taken down behind the line, and another play for Abdullah. Yasir Abdullah has had a whale of a ball game for Louisville defensively today, and been involved in a lot of pivot plays in this contest.
Yeah, he certainly has. Wes, I want to touch back on what Kelsey said with the 10-point plan. I think these players feel such weight to be able to speak out and to help because of their position and because of who they are in Louisville. And so I commend Scott Satterfield for taking that approach. We've seen the tangible things, and you saw at the bottom there, the last one was allow time to go out and vote, and the education that comes with that and the responsibility is something that we should all take advantage of.
Here's Davis, hemmed up pretty quick. Roddy, we talked about this during the week. I think the voice of the student athlete in 2020 and a timeout taken here by Louisville. The voice of the student athlete, in particular the college football student athlete on the major level this year, has been as impressive and as impactful as I think we've seen in a long time.
It certainly is, and it reflects the vision of the head coach and the personality. Scott Satterfield and Louisville do it differently than other people, but no less effectively.
All right, timeout, back to Heinz Field. 3-point game with 2:35. Well, you see the details of the ball game. 1 timeout remaining for Scott Satterfield. Or 2 timeouts remaining for both schools, I beg your pardon. 3-point game. Kenny Pickett's got the freshman Vincent Davis with him, or sophomore Vincent Davis with him in the backfield. And they are going to throw here out of the timeout on 3rd down. Going to take the shot for Addison over the top and incomplete. Isaiah Hayes in coverage for the Cards.
And Addison actually had a shot at this ball before Hayes got over there, went right through his arms, and it's interesting. I mean, that ends up being not a bad shot because you have Addison open, but Kenny Pickett had a receiver open underneath that would have been a safe completion, would have kept the clock running.
Right.
It probably would have ended up short of the 1st down, but opted to go for the shot, and now Louisville's going to get the ball back with 2:20 left.
And not having to call the timeout, Roddy. Rajay Burns will wait. Kirk Christodoulou the punt. And it's a good one. Hangs it high to the near side. Fair catch made inside the 20, around the 17. 2:27 to go. Pittsburgh trying to get to 3-0. Louisville trying to get their first conference win. Heinz Field, Pittsburgh. 2:27 to go. Number 21 Panthers lead number 24 Louisville by 3. Malik Cunningham cut through, runs through 1 tackle, and picks up the 1st down at the 28-yard line. So Cunningham shaking up on the last drive, back in there, and scampers for 11.
A nice gain on 1st down. And Wes, of course this game comes down to this matchup. Didn't necessarily think it'd be 23-20 when it did.
Right.
But you get the powerful offense against the defense that has been all over Malik Cunningham today.
1st down and 10. Clock at 2 minutes. Atwell in motion. Remember, he was shaken up earlier too. Trying to set the screen and incomplete. Atwell was coming back for it. Ball was thrown off line, and Jason Pinnock, the senior from Windsor, Connecticut,
is one heck of a play by Jason Pinnock, retracing the steps of Tutu Atwell, getting under the block and disrupting this. It is so hard for these corners because you push up the field like he's going to run around and then comes back under for the tunnel, but Pinnock doing a great job disrupting that play.
2nd down 10. Quick throw, and the catch made. Fitzpatrick got knocked out. No, Atwell got knocked out of bounds, I think, on a glancing blow by Paris Ford.
Well, on the first play where Malik Cunningham scrambled, that looked to be one of those plays where Louisville wanted to take a shot. That was a smart decision to go with the safe play to cut down the third down conversion. But again, it's going to be, you have to give Malik Cunningham enough time to be able to find a receiver downfield.
1:46 to go. They went to the sideline the last 2 attempts here. Here's Cunningham escaping the pocket. Weaver gives chase. He heads to the far side, keeps his feet, but slides down. Pursued by Servassier Dennis over there. And now we're looking at 4th and 4 with 1:28 to play. Louisville still got the 2 timeouts. They're going to use one of them here, Roddy.
Yeah, that's smart by Scott Satterfield. You got to get your best play. You got to get the play that you feel most comfortable with. That was a fantastic job by Malik Cunningham, though. I mean, Pittsburgh wasn't able to get the initial pressure. The offensive line actually did a good job for Louisville, but the receivers were blanketed by this Pitt defensive backs. Malik Cunningham scrambled to cut it down to 4th and somewhat manageable. Question is, what do you go to here? They haven't really had anything that has consistently gotten them that they've been able to go to consistently. So it'll be interesting to see.
In a scenario like this, you kind of go back to some of the zone stuff you do. I mean, I think really have fought yourself trying to do that, though, today.
I think what you go back to is something with motion going across, and you try and create some natural picks. So maybe you get Tutu Atwell motioning from one side to the other, and you have him coming off a couple of picks, and you try and go to a flat, almost like a 2-point conversion play, because all you're trying to do is get those 4 yards.
Right.
So you go to your board and you say, all right, what are our best plays to get us 2 or 3 yards, and how can we extend that to 4?
So let's see what Cunningham comes up with here. And now Pittsburgh's going to use one of their 2 remaining.
Timeout. Pittsburgh, their 2nd of the half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So we've grinded all the way down now to where we're counterpoint on timeout.
Of course, you got to get a look. And now the question is, it's a little bit of game theory. They've seen our formation. Do we change our play, or do we still go back to the play that we thought would work?
Right.
That's the big question. They had Fitzpatrick and Atwell to the bottom, tight, and then 2 receivers to the top tight as well. But Pitt obviously wanted to get a look at it. Now they're going to call a defense that...
Well, you've talked this through a couple times today. There is a Hamlin-Ford deal as it relates to the safety play. Hamlin's going to be on the Atwell slot, correct?
Typically, unless Atwell's lined up to the boundary. And then you may be able to get a matchup with Paris Ford. But being predictable in that way lets Pittsburgh switch that if they want to. Maybe you flip it and you get one of the corners like Pinnock or Williams on Tutu Atwell. Completely different formation. You get Atwell to the top of your screen now.
Out of the Pitt timeout. Cunningham wants to throw. Pressure coming. He will put it up for grabs, and it's intercepted. Pinnock gets the pick. Cunningham is down, and the Panthers have flexed today, Roddy, with 3 second-half interceptions.
As good as this Pitt defense has been, you just have to take your cap off to this defensive line. Kalijah Cansey looked to be, the young freshman looked to be the one that got in the backfield and had Malik Cunningham wrapped up. Just really hope Malik Cunningham is all right.
And Jason Pinnock has come up with his 4th career interception. So you had DeMar Hamlin get his 5th. Marquez Williams picked up an interception. And a guy who did a really good job last week on Taj Harris of Syracuse, Roddy. And Pat Narduzzi made a point to say, look, Jason Pinnock did a really good job on Taj Harris.
Sure did.
The busted play was a function of the execution on the coverage. But now, this defense that everybody had kind of talked about, boy, have they delivered in the second half.
Well, they came in averaging giving up 154 yards, and that was against Austin Peay's offense, which obviously a lower level offense, and Syracuse, who's got their own struggles on the offensive side of the football. This Louisville offense came in flying high, 500 yards a game. They've got 223 yards today. What an incredible performance by this Pitt defense. You get another shot on Malik Cunningham. It looked like Wes, when he got tackled, he went down and his head may have hit the ground.
Right.
And without him, with them not moving him, you just hope that checks out and comes back okay.
Yep. So they go through the protocol here with Cunningham through the Louisville Sports Medicine folks. And with 1:19 to go, here's a replay on the Cunningham simply trying to get the ball out. And he goes down in the arms of Cansey. And they look like they are going to try and, in this process, they're turning Malik Cunningham over. Yep. And I do see hand movement, so that's a good indicator.
It certainly is.
And I imagine we're going to see before they're moving, they want to make sure they're absolutely in position to do so. So the team's going to go to their benches, and as they tend to Cunningham, they've gone to get a backboard from over behind the Louisville bench, and we'll take a break here. 79 seconds to go at Heinz Field. After the interception, the Panthers have it with a 3-point lead. Well, you can see the cart and other medical personnel have come to the surface here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh to tend to quarterback Malik Cunningham of Louisville, who on a 4th down play was tackled and has stayed down. He was face down when they started, and they have been able to roll him over to his back, but in order to make sure that everything is as stable as possible, they're being very careful as they get him to a backboard and are able to put him on the cart. Here's the 4th down play, Roddy, we were talking of a moment ago.
Yeah, it was really good coverage on the back end, but Kalijah Cansey wraps up Cunningham. You see back hits the ground, head hits the ground. That's really the only forcible contact that we're able to see there, but
right.
Fortunately, Lee Cunningham has not gotten up yet, and you just pray for the young man and hope that everything comes out okay and that this is just a scare. Absolutely.
Meanwhile, a tremendous amount of concern on behalf of both schools here, as you might imagine. We did see his left hand move briefly. But they are making particularly sure that they're trying to be as stable as possible in getting into this cart. It's been a ball game that in this second half, where we expected a lot of big plays, Roddy, we've seen a couple big plays, but it's really morphed itself down into about possession and scheme in some ways.
Well, the story of the game is the fact that there have been 6 total points in the second half.
Right.
And a field goal for both teams. It has been dominated by the defenses. This Pitt defense over and over answered the bell, and Louisville's defense should get a lot of credit for how well they played in this game as well. And unfortunately for Louisville, it looks like unless something crazy happens in the last 79 seconds, they're going to end up dropping this ballgame.
Well, they only have 1 timeout remaining, and Pittsburgh's going to have the ball. up near the 40-yard line after the interception by Pinnock. And Malik Cunningham has just given a thumbs up, it looks like, to his teammates after he was put to the cart. And here at Heinz Field, because it is obviously the home of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they can at least do some of the preliminary examinations with the Louisville sports medicine folks and get an idea. And then if they need to, of course, the folks at UPMC, what a tremendous facility it is, not only for situations like this, Roddy, but the work that those folks are doing now as it relates to the pandemic and the coronavirus. So and Cunningham giving the thumbs up. But you see they have the neck brace on, they cut the jersey off, things of that nature, which is kind of the protocol for head and neck stuff. And now all of a sudden here is Kenny Pickett and Pittsburgh looking to go, Roddy, 3-0 for the first time since 2014 and for the fourth time since 2000.
And you know, we really hadn't talked about it all that much and what this game was going to do for Pitt. I think it has them now in the conversation amongst teams like Notre Dame, like Miami, like a North Carolina, like a Virginia Tech potentially. For who else?
Well, throw Virginia in there too, because they play tonight right here in less than an hour for the first time.
Why are we not talking more about Virginia?
Yeah.
That's a totally different aside. But Pitt ushers themselves into the conversation for, can they compete for the second best team in the conference?
Right.
Behind Clemson. This defense is as good as there is in the conference, and maybe the entire country, Wes. The job that they did this week against Louisville, the job that those two defensive ends did is certainly to be commended. It is this is a really good football team. Offensively, they've still got some stuff they've got to figure out. The consistency, not getting stalled on drives, but defense was fantastic for them.
Pittsburgh won't have to snap it again. The Panthers go to 3-0, 23-20. And Roddy, you're right. The biggest surprise of this game might be the fact there were only 2 field goals kicked in the second half.
Yeah, there's I completely agree. I thought Louisville would be able to put up more at some point, but ultimately, this Pitt defense was too overwhelming. Kenny Pickett and this offense did just enough. And in the second half, remember, especially in the fourth quarter, Pitt went to basically a 4-corner offense. They went into their 4-minute offense, running the football from under center and shortening the ball game.
Great to be with Roddy Jones and Kelsey Riggs. West Durham, the final here at Heinz Field. The Panthers 23, the Cards 20. For our producer Russ Wenham, our director Tim Sutton, and our great crew. Stay tuned now. Jordan Cornette, Eric McClain, Mark Rick, EJ Manuel. The Huddle is next on ACC Network.